want the Star Wars trilogy and the mythology to go beyond your lifetime?
No. 3 will be the last film, and it'll be a 6-part series, and that'll be the end of it.
Incorrect.
You're not mentoring someone to take over for you?
No, it's...
Automatic defense procedures initiated.
There may be other venues for it, but not in the theatrical release.
Affirmative.
I don't want to have it just sort of turn into Star Trek.
Incoming transmission.
Welcome to Saving Star Trek, a show talking about one of my favorite shows, Enterprise. I am Linda Park. I play Hoshi Sato and also Empress Sato. So enjoy this show. I love that it's finding a whole new life on the streaming services. And you better hit that like button or Empress Sato will not be happy. I mean, she could make a storm happen, and she could really make your life hard. Anyways, enjoy the show, hit that like button, and thank you for being a fan of Enterprise.
Good evening, sirs and madams. We have all kinds of Star Trek news for you tonight, both good and bad. You know what? X out that we're live, share the show, hit the like, be an engaged viewer, and I guess, what do you guys want first? Tell me in the comments. The good news, the bad. Ruby Hoove with good news for us. Thank you so much. We will try. You know what? We have great stuff to talk about in addition to the terrible stuff. So we got what we call a bad news sandwich for you tonight. We just experienced the worst episode of Strange New Worlds till the next episode of Strange New Worlds. It was fucking horrible. Ruby Hoop, thank you so much for gifting a membership to our community. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping us out. And I guess before we get to the horror story, I don't know what to say. I gotta let Sean make the call. This show is so bad, it persists so briefly in the brain. Do we have to start off with Strange New Worlds and then move to the Enterprise sequel talk, or do we do Enterprise sequel first? Because I'm already losing the details of Strange New Worlds.
I think let's get the pain out of the way and then talk about something interesting.
I draw you forth, Kurtzman, like poison from a wound, right? I feel like Gandalf in the Two Towers. I'm Admiral the White, and I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. We have great news coming up after the terrible news. Hello, Buddy Hepburn. Hello to Sean, who's here, JT, who's here, Radioactive, who's here, Gavin, I think you're out there somewhere. I see Gavin in the chat. We were talking to him in the theater. The Trek reviewers here with us. I was jumping in and out of the chat. We got people coming in. We're up to 10 viewers. We only been on for a few seconds. Let people know we got great news. And then first we got it's kind of like Pulp Fiction. We got to wash all the skull parts and bits of brains out of the back seat before we could take the car to the crushing yard and have Mr. Wolf do his magic. This stain isn't going to come out from Strange New Worlds. This, again, I said it before the season started, and it was met with not outright defiance because I've now built up a track record of this stuff, but with a little bit of consternation when I said, believe me, I agree with Disparu that Strange New Worlds is the very worst of all the new Star Trek shows, because it does the most damage to the fandom. It shrinks it a little bit every episode. And this episode did nothing to defy that, and in fact, only reinforced that this is in fact the very worst and the most terribly and conveniently written Star Trek show of them all. Gentlemen, I give you the floor. Speak your minds to democracy now.
Well, I will just say that the only thing that this show succeeds in, and I mean the only thing, is surpassing its previous level of stupidity. That's all it can do correctly.
I'm gonna be controversial here, sir, and say I disagree.
Oh, sir.
I disagree. Yes, I disagree. We're gonna have controversy tonight. There's gonna be a fight here tonight because I am revising my my score from last week. I have had it. It is not a C minus. It is an F minus from last week. This is actually a step up, if you can believe that, which is shocking. It's just shocking.
These are the two things that shocked me about last week. One, that it was so very bad, and two, that somehow Sean wasn't loud enough. Sean, check your level. Just make sure. I just cranked you all the way up, but bring your phantom down.
He is great.
Now he's booming, right? Yeah, he's booming now.
Okay.
I think we're all about the same level. Germ, how are you doing? Grimlon, how are you? How'd you guys feel about this crap?
Well, I'm done throwing up, so there's that. But
folks, he's not joking. The Admiral and I were getting motion sickness watching this piece of shit. It's not hyperbole at all.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I stepped away.
I don't know what you're talking about. The part with Empress Sato was the best part of this.
This was like having the bed spins. Yeah, the beginning of our show was the best part of the whole experience, but starting with when we watched SNW in the theater. So while we have great news coming about Enterprise, this week's Strange New Worlds was more incohesive and shambolic than any other episode to date. Hello, Dave C. It's good to see you. Wow. I can't even begin to sum up what we just saw. We had brought in Ortegas' brother, this loser called Beto, who looks like the lead singer from Tears for Fears from back in the 80s.
Yeah, it's not Robert Francis O'Rourke, okay? It's a different...
No, it's not. This is Beto Ortegas, and this is just what we needed, was another back-talking Ortegas. And then one thing I noticed is, although Melissa Navia this week was not as openly disrespectful, she does not salt in a sir, ever. It's never mixed into Ortega's dialogue.
Only when she looks in the mirror.
Yeah.
When did
she
they
yells at
explain
crisply,
who
though.
this-
She sees herself in the mirror, yeah.
I didn't notice in the episode when they explained who Douche Canoe reporter guy was.
Okay,
From
douche canoe
another
reporter
episode?
guy. That in an explosive, nervous dialogue in episodes. He's been in a few episodes, but an explosive, nervous dialogue in episode 1 of this season, we find out that he's Ortega's brother. So he's got that Latino charm, but of course he's Latinx instead of Latino, and so he's Fey. And as a Latino guy, like, he's got that colonizer blood, so he has to redeem all Latinos. It's all on Beto. So Beto is going to call out Starfleet and call them conquerors and colonizers a few times. To which I say, as a man of Spanish blood, from Spain by way of Cuba, where the Spanish people in my family, I'm proud to say, went to Cuba to be part of the Army of Occupation. It could, straighten things out and made the trains run on time if the trains had even been invented when they sent my great-great-great-great-grandfather there to actually, at gunpoint, make people do stuff.
Ships run on time is what they
Look,
did.
You're damn right. Like, I want to just say, I am from the Galicia part of Spain is where my family hails from. Like, they kept that up in Cuba, so they must have been as insufferable as my Irish family when we start yelling about being from Dublin and Donegal and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's the same thing. But so Beto is going to bail out every single Latino person for being a conqueror and a conquistador by calling out Starfleet. And he does it by asking some of the dumbest and most banal questions I've ever heard in my life. What is Starfleet? Well, We Are Starfleet was the hashtag that these people used a few years ago to divide and attack fans. So I believe that's what he's kind of doing a callback to when he speaks of this. And this episode, the Beto character was brought on. He is a journalist. He's making a documentary. And if Starfleet approves the funding, it could be on. So apparently we're seeing the future, which means that this is like a year from now when this documentary has aired, which means that, whatever happens after this, they're safe. Like, there's nothing in there about how we lost Captain Pike afterwards. So we can assume that it's a nice guy. And for a cynical show, man, did they ever think that the journalism was great? Were they ever just like, does this show hold the media in high regard? Oh, wow.
Even with their lack of talent and camera work, right?
He was there, I thought, to excuse the bad camera work, because when he's been used a few times effectively by them to save money. This is what he does. He sends his little camera probe, like from Prometheus someplace, and no one can detect it. And he says to them, like, look, my camera probe was in this room and it told us this. And like, you didn't have permission to do that. And they're like, now we have a tactical advantage. It's like, why don't you guys ever use your tricorders? You know what I mean? It's like, so he sends his camera probe around, and they're like, look, there's something really dangerous in that room. It's like a boss level monster. And they'll all look at it on his iPad, so it'll be super small and low res. Ruby Hoof, thank you. It's good to see you too. It's a great avatar. That cat's looking happy. I'll be listening. I can't type very well. I'm sorry. Your arm is healing slowly. We are enjoying being together and reporting on SNW, and we have Star Trek news coming up for Enterprise that I think we can get the initial brush at Strange New Worlds out of the way in under 15 to 20 minutes from like this moment. I think we've given you most of the plot. There's a conflict, there's a weird crystalline entity, and I don't know what else. JT, you've kind of been the man at this one. Go ahead and tell us what the hell happens, and hello to Dad Man.
Tell us about the space butterfly that has wings in space.
Tell us about the space rabbits, George.
Okay.
And
So
don't forget the Mothra song.
here's the synopsis in under a minute. All right. So our intrepid crew gets into the documentary drama, or the documentary genre this week, rather. And it's horrible. It's trash. What actually happens during the episode is like the sea story. So it'll go pretty quickly. What we have here are two warring species on sister planets. One is just amazing, the best. You've never seen such bioengineering. And they bioengineer a big butterfly to go into space. We'll call it Mothra, okay? Because that's exactly what it is. Mothra is supposed to go from planet A to planet B, and Starfleet's supposed to escort
Mothra bears an uncanny resemblance to the robot's defensive system from Picard season 1.
That too, but it also, if you've ever seen a Gojira movie, it's Mothra. In any event, they find out Mothra can do more than what first met the eye, and Starfleet is supposed to be escorting what becomes, according to them, a weapon. There's a bunch of stupid exposition for about the next 40 minutes, and then at the very near end, Uhura cries and says, "We should start talking to it." So Spock has Counselor Troy Tin Man level empathy connection with this thing. They try to throw him on the Galileo shuttlecraft to talk with it. It doesn't work. Good thing Uhura is the bestest ever, can communicate by wearing the VR headset from a couple weeks ago, and they communicate with the Mothra.
And she sings a little when they put the headset on her. She's singing and humming. It's so dumb.
And then the Mothra self deletes into the sun, and then the episode's over. That's it.
And they cry
into the sun. Into the sun.
No, literally.
Yeah,
that's it. That is it. As
this episode wraps up, Uhura is talking to Beto, I guess, and what happens is Uhura has been. Everybody starts out with their mission statement. It's basically loosely based on mocking part of Full Metal Jacket. Like, remember the part of Full Metal Jacket after, like, Joker gets sent to Way City, and after he talks shit with the other Marines, and they really get in each other's faces, and him and Animal Mother have the confrontation. All of a sudden, another news crew shows up, and they interview everyone, including Joker, and they're like, I think we should win, or whatever. Like, that's it. So, like, Rebecca Romaine and Pike just lie to the press. They lie to the press worse than any politician. Like, the traitor and the spy, they give a little talk about the importance of their mission. And like, this is all, everybody talks about the importance of what they're doing and the importance of Starfleet. And then there's like this long pause, and everyone always looks down and blinks and looks back up. Pike, I think, never makes eye contact with the camera whenever he makes any statement. The press is presented as absolutely fantabulous in this. And at the end, after solving all these amazeballs problems, and whether they killed this thing or whether it decided to go away, I couldn't tell you because I didn't care at all. I just wanted it to end so bad. It was like 10 minutes of.
It's the
it was
sea
like
story.
this was a C story, a D story, an E story, and an F story. There was no A or B plot to this. This was complete. This was your reward for renewing after last week's blockbuster week 4 event. This is your week 5 event, episode 7, because we're all jumbled up here.
So
it was horrible.
And the reason why there's so little is because this is the documentary genre episode. So it is all
It's not.
filmed.
It's a mockumentary though. It's like this is Spinal Tap Fleet.
This is filmed in the
Hey,
perspective
don't
of
insult Spinal Tap like that.
that it's
They're gonna do it to themselves about a week when that movie drops.
half hand shaky cam from Ortega / whatever you want to call him, Beto, and
Beto
half
Ortegas
of his half of his Timu
Let's call him Beto Uncorked.
Beto Uncorked, his
Why not?
his Emo camera drone and his shaky cam. That's about 90% of all the footage in this, with stupid CGI effects to try to make it look more, I don't know, Blair Witch Project-y type stuff. It is so horrible. I was getting motion sickness.
luck.
Admiral Teague was getting motion sickness. There is such a harsh flip back and forth between the visual styles that you just want it to stop. You really just want it to stop. So what happens in the other part of this whole story that I didn't include in the synopsis is that they are just being interviewed and talking about nothing. Just literally talking about nothing other than themselves the entire time. And you would think after all the documentaries that have been out there, they could have framed it to at least look like a documentary. They could have had everyone's head in shot or in frame. They don't.
Yeah,
do
thank
that.
you for that one. The thing
Yes.
is, like
Yes.
because of the mistake they make where they cut people's heads out of frame. We were using just a term that the AI would never have understood. So we got to go fast as the slowest AI. I'll say it once. It cuts off people's heads. So now from here on in, we have to say people's heads are out of frame, and people's heads are out of frame from like the middle of their eye line.
Yes.
There's only
You know
Dutch
what I
angles.
think it is? You know why I
There's
think
only
they do
Dutch
that?
angles in this episode too.
I
Go
think
ahead,
they
Sean.
do that because there's probably equipment showing in the background. They don't have the money to get the set cleaned up correctly. It's got to be what it is.
This character was brought on to contrive an episode this cheap.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what I kept thinking of? These people should have watched the MASH episode called "The Interview." When you guys remember that one, and it was
Yes.
more in black and
Vaguely.
white. It was a really good, a lot of good.
That's
episodes.
the one that happens out of their world. Yeah, the thing is, MASH had better writers, and MASH was supposed to be a comedy, and for whatever reason, that movie that it was seeded from, the fact that it was like right on satire MASH. Now, MASH didn't age well when you watch it now, but it's right on
I
satire.
disagree. I love it.
It depends what aspect you're talking about. Like the laugh track can take you out of it. A lot of people
the
can't
first
watch
4
it.
seasons, yeah. I'm talking about seasons 5 through, was it 12, 13? 11.
I think, they exist without it after that. The thing is, it's really some of their best episodes are ruined by it, and there's no fixing it. The jump cut didn't work. Maybe AI can smooth out the solution to that, but like them standing there ghostily looking at each other without the laugh track was worse than the laugh track. Maybe engineering a better laugh track is the key. Like, let a live audience that's never seen the show watch it for the first time and mic them. That would be better than what they got. That's the only way to save MASH. But I digress. The thing is this. There were some times when MASH would do those very serious episodes, like the one you said, The Interview. There was another one where they fight to keep a soldier alive so they don't have to call his time of death till after Christmas. And it happens in real time from like 11:40 to like 12:10.
Oh yeah, the clock is moving on the whole episode. Yeah.
And I think maybe they blow off commercials in the last act because it's so grim. And it's like, it's really good. It's like a real time thing. And it's like, 12:03 p. Oh, it's like 11:58. And he's like, no, it's 12:02. Because I said so. There's no point in keeping alive any longer. We're not monsters, but we'll do the right thing. It's not an important record. We'll fake it. And Potter's like, okay. Like that one would work. But then, like, between that and the black and white one that was Out of Their World, where they do the interview, which was, this one was kind of stolen from, this Star Trek episode was kind of stolen from, we had misfired maudlin episodes of MASH too, like directed by Alan Alda that tried to be serious, where like we would have like Winchester like saving some prostitute or something insane for family TV. I'm being honest. Like we had like the prostitute, the brothel off base turned into like some sort of a bar off base, and then turns into like a daycare center off base. I don't know what the hell was going on in the environment off the outside of the MASH unit. They move it a couple of times, and everyone who has the ad hoc village outside moves with them too.
You
It's
know,
the weirdest place.
another show that did this 1,000 times better, or actually correctly, that isn't that, is Battlestar Galactica 2004. The episode, season 2, episode 8, Final Cut. That's where the journalist, Dana Beers, I think
She
that was
ended
her
up
name.
being a Cylon too.
Yeah, she has to go do some PR pickup, and Adama and Roslyn say, go ahead and film the fleet, make it raw, do whatever you have to, go where you need.
But it's unflattering, unnecessarily so in their
think it
darkest
is.
hour.
You think it is, and then you actually get to watch the 1 or 2 minutes of the documentary that she actually cut together, and like they paint them in a very positive light at the very end. But you're right, Admiral, there are tons of unflattering moments, but it paints them more as human. That's how you're supposed to do this type of episode.
Right.
This was nowhere even close.
At the end, it was confirmation bias that we watch a bunch of real trash losers who deserve to be on this show. These
And they
characters
get
were
called
horrible.
colonizers too, which was nice.
So, folks,
Again, I'm proud of that.
This is the high point of the episode. Okay, there is a scene where Beto Uncorked is sitting there next to New Hura.
I think maybe Beto Uncorked might be better.
and what did I call him?
No, we started with Uncorked, but maybe Beto Uncork would be funnier. I don't know. Like we'll take a vote.
Okay, well,
that'll be the poll.
Beto Uncorked. Okay, he is sitting in the bedroom of New Hura. At least I think it is, and he is asking her questions on film, or being recorded, and saying, so you're taking a weapon of war, which is a very modern lingo, like current day speak. You're taking a weapon of war from one point A to point B. How is this not being a colonizer? That's the exact,
How the hell
almost
is it
exact
being
phrasing.
a colonizer?
I don't know how it's
it
being
doesn't
a
even make
colonizer.
sense.
It doesn't.
Well,
make
I mean,
sense.
we all know every
Like-
single member of every nuclear submarine crew is a colonizer, right? 'Cause isn't that what they essentially
yeah,
do all day? I mean, my God.
Exactly. But the response from Uhura is to get mad and say, I can't believe you came here to ask me that, and storms out. And then later they have another conversation about it. And she's like, oh, you know what I think it is? You're just mad because your sister was in Starfleet and she was killed in the engagement with the Gorn. So that's why you're just projecting all these angry feelings onto Starfleet. You silly man. How could you do such a thing? I'm going to tell you what to think. And I'm like, oh, so they talked about this twice, and she never explained or answered the question about them being colonizers. So I guess that means they are.
At the end of the episode, in like sort of shambolic style that we've become used to, everybody's interview ends, and throughout this, they're using every storytelling device to make this make sense and make this cohesive, and they can't. There is text on screen. There is verbal narration. There is recueing of like each event like several times, and it fails to be coherent. It fails to be interesting. It doesn't pick up my I still don't know if they destroy that fucking creature or not. Pike is the type to just blow it out of the sky and accept the scorn of his crew.
Sun. Remember, it flew itself into the sun.
Yeah,
I thought it changed its mind after that. So it did a sun dive. It pulled a restaurant at the end of the universe.
Yes.
Okay.
And for some reason, it wanted to pretend it was attacking the Enterprise while doing so.
I will
Yeah.
now allow I will now allow my crew to free themselves of the pain of having to watch the episode while I mute my mic and allow my second in command, Sean, to run the 5-minute grief. You now have 5 minutes to grieve.
Well, I want to hear from radio if we can, because I mean we've got JT's thoughts. I know what I think, but let's start with radio.
Let's do that. I kind of let us in.
Radioactive's opinion.
What?
Why Radioactive? Why?
Well, yeah,
would
because backstage
there be a
we were-
reporter on a classified mission?
Okay, what
Yeah.
am I supposed to answer?
Oh no, because backstage when we were talking, you
Oh.
were saying that you didn't feel that this one was particularly bad. So
Well, no,
maybe
well,
share your thoughts
relatively.
on that.
Yeah, it's not as bad as last week. I ruminated on last week's episode a lot. And the more I thought about last week, the angrier I got.
That
This
one
last-
will stay.
last week
That
was
one
the-
stays with you and grows on you. Yes.
Yeah, that one really started to get to me after a while. So
You
I
should
may
do
have
what
been
I
in
do
more
and just
shock.
purge
at
it from your mind.
Yeah. Well, they trashed the American flag. They trashed the American people. This stuff. This is just kind of like they're just putting icing on the cake, so to speak, with this one. But yeah, this one isn't quite as bad, if nothing else, because at least I mean they're telling a crappy story, but at least they told it somewhat sequentially last week that didn't even make any sense at all. So there is that. But
Radio,
that doesn't mean
did you enjoy- Did you enjoy the opening FOIA request notice?
Yeah, that kind of bothered me too, though, but for other reasons. It's like they don't know anything about how to do a FOIA request.
By the way, I just want to say
Like they don't know
see
anything
them
about
doing.
what's classified or it's redacted. So what? Who cares?
we see all of this undermined consistently because at the beginning of this, we see that this is all granted under some sort of Federation FOIA Freedom of Information Act request. So everything we then see is deeply unflattering, which means they're extremely transparent. I mean, I don't know what to say. The implication of how horrible they are is that they're very transparent.
They gave the journalist permission to go in and do all types of filming, but then the fact that they put that FOIA request in there means that they had classified his report and then declassified certain sections of it. So the point of having a journalist in there at all in the first place was what?
I want to know when he signed his
Well,
NDA.
he-
That's what I
he-
want to know.
Yeah.
He also didn't need a
Hell,
camera.
he shouldn't have even been there. It's a classified mission where they're obviously breaking Federation law. Why
They've
would you
never
have a
fully
reporter on a
explained
freaking episode like a
Thank
mission
you.
like that?
Thank you, Sean. You know what? This is how the episode starts, and there's a lot of dumb visuals in this episode because there's so much text on screen. I think it was to try to prompt us to start tweeting so that we wouldn't watch.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, I've made better PowerPoint slides than this.
What do you think of this? They're trolling me and my Star Trek video style.
They're
like, we'll make it like that Admiral Team
really-
guy's Star Trek videos.
If they really wanted to have done this right and said this was a classified mission, they could have had Pike playing the role of Colonel Kurtz, and this could have been Federation Apocalypse Now.
This was another one where Beto was used to save a lot of money. Almost all of this episode was filmed using very unconvincing doubles. And what it is Beto, he's sneaking around. He's so sneaky with his noisy drone camera. He only has about a Desert Storm level of tech, by the way, on a Star Trek show. And what Beto does is like he has this little drone cam and he sends it like snooping. No security cameras pick it up. And it gives him the ability to see people from really far away so that we don't have to see their faces. And with their backs to us, Pike and Una have a long talk about the entire plot of the episode where they rehash everything again.
Admiral, I'm shocked that we didn't see Ice Cube's face at any point in time in this episode.
It's weird that this episode comes out that the week that movie's trending for that particular reason. It really is unreal. I don't know what to tell you about that. I like the jumbled up, not OCD inspiring.
So maybe the reason why this was released was because the Gang of Four in the Federation decided to raise so much hell in the Federation Congress that they finally decided, okay, we better just let this go out there because it's bad PR anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, well, I guess this is where we're at with this one. Was Vanilla Fella's bad, Colonizer's bad, the women who seem to run this whole thing are absolved of guilt and somehow hopeless passengers, and we had a traitor, seditionist, and a spy infiltrator talking about their form of patriotism and, you know, politics by another name and their disdain for having to do some distasteful stuff in the name of furthering everyone else. And sometimes you have to, like, destroy the endangered species so that you can have the wind farm or something crazy like that. And it wasn't done well, but I guess Radioactive may have a point with it. Seemed to, I guess, if you could stand it, because I had to turn it off every 10 minutes. I only watched it straight through the last time. It was so horrible. And it's only 39 minutes, JT, so there's time dilation in this one. And they achieve it, guys. Time travel, we just saw it. Time dilation. And I mean, I guess I want Krimwan to finish up and give his thoughts, because I haven't really let him talk, and I feel bad. Krimwan, tell me what you think about this one. And you started out with a great anecdote about how your coworker thought it was shit.
Oh yeah. No. He was actually telling me about this today beforehand. I didn't quite understand what he was getting at when he was saying it was similar to the War of the Worlds, where it was just describing everything, and it was almost like watching a whole bunch of YouTube episodes just slashed together. Yeah, I kind of got that from this. The creativity level was very low.
Crazy how many people say that about this, though, and it happens the same week.
Yeah. Oh god, it was mind-numbingly bad, and the only thing that I really liked was actually the design of Mothra. I couldn't believe they brought Mothra into it without bringing Godzilla.
It's true.
Wait,
you look at
well,
it,
they
like,
did. I think they did mention Gornzilla, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes,
they got
they
a little
did.
horny again.
They did.
Yeah.
They talked about what's her name that passed away. Folks, this is how bad the documentary was. Okay, they talk about someone who passed away during a battle with the Gorn that we saw,
And they kind of accidentally troll them.
Yeah, well, and so Uhura was like, "Wait, what? That person passed away?" Like the interviewer broke some news to them, and then this is one military person hearing about another military person passing away live in the interview. They don't like cut away or clip that out or give them a minute. No, they just leave the camera rolling and include that in the documentary. Like, could you imagine if you heard that someone close to you in life had passed, and they just let the camera keep rolling? How awful! How fucking terrible! I'm sorry that I know it's not real, but have some fucking class. Have some fucking class already. This did not have it. This did not have it whatsoever. We talked about Mabangala, whatever we want to call him. He in his interview, he was asked, has Starfleet ever ordered me to delete someone? And I'm chuckling. I'm like,
I think about the episode with Ron Howard.
He willingly does it. And
the episode with Clint Howard where he's in the Klingon War, in the flashback, they tell him that they don't have the time to treat these people, so that just delete everyone in the medical transporter holding buffer pattern, because that's now common.
Or just when he deleted the Federation ambassador for fun, and no one did anything. I mean, this dude's an expert at just deleting people without even being told, and then they try to make him seem, pensive or disturbed by things that he's done in his past. And I'm sitting here going, give me a fucking break. Just
gotta agree.
It's stupid.
And Radioactive is right. The star date was once again like incongruous. They flipped it back to like 2164 or something like that. Last time we were up around the time of Star Trek 3. This show, their star date should be about 2161, 62 at this point, because they were supposed to be around 21 or 2258, right? Something like that. I'm sorry, 2258. So they're somewhere in there, but instead they're giving star dates like 2284, which is after Wrath of Khan. Like, it's like Star Trek 4-ish. And it seems to me like Kurtzman's just confusing the issue on purpose as part of his way out. And I'm going to drop this theory as we move on from the Strange New Worlds episode, which I'll give an F to, and also mark as incomplete at the same time. It's just, I have come to have an opinion that the Kurtzman deal that was made by another company, 2 companies or 3 companies back, because they broke up, they recoalesced, they broke up again, they got sold, they got bought, and now they're new Paramount Skydance. The deal that they made, they have been using this to the last few years, in my opinion, extort the money from Star Trek. Extort the money from Paramount.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that they make
Absolutely.
this... Yeah, their nightmare over at Paramount is that some of this Kurtzman stuff escapes their ability to keep under control. And like Amazon got Section 31. If Amazon got Section 31, Bezos would have blasted $1 billion into the PR for fun just to destroy Star Trek forever. And he would have done it using his own Rings of Power, People's original show, which is funny, but you know what I mean? Like, that's their nightmare. So I think this is extortion at this point. It's financial business extortion. I'm saying it. It's an opinion. I don't have anything but my feelings. Go ahead.
Admiral, you had brought something up in chat after we watched this the first times, on our own. And I was kind of hoping that your perspective, or maybe the rest of the panel, could help us out here. The energy when we watched this episode from all of the actors, like Anson Mount, the Ethan Peck, whoever's playing number 1, they all look totally dejected, defeated. The worst, just glassy, broken reading of lines. What the hell is up with that?
Melissa Navia was.
I wanted to hear more.
All right, Melissa Navia seemed to be on point, but I think that some of this episode was filmed later with only her to try to thread some of it together. And Sean knows more about sets than I do, but I, years ago worked as a theater worker, so I saw like some of that stuff around like, shows and concerts. And I can tell when a venue or an environment is bad. There's a bad feeling that hangs over it. There's a bad vibe that goes on, and people start snapping, and that's when you start hearing people yelling about union rules, yelling about what time it is, yelling about breaks, yelling about repurposing of extras. Start getting fussy. Whatever you might. Well, for instance, the extras that were used as doubles for what do you call it, Pike and Una, who just did voice work for maybe 3/4 of what they were in this episode for. They were so heavily doubled. So there is so few times in any of the last 2 episodes where any of the people in these scenes were together. Like we said with Connie and Spock dancing, they both can dance, but they're not available at the same time. So both dance partners are doubled. And it looks uncanny, even though both people can dance. Like, they don't care.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, Admiral, we've had quite a few people pop in that we haven't said hi to.
We've got to say hi. I'm sorry, guys.
Admiral Teague,
go ahead.
They can dance if they want to.
They can leave their friends behind.
Yes.
We're doing Daniel. And hello, Lemon. Yeah, this was...
Yeah, Dadman's here as well. Dadman
I did manage to greet Dadman.
And Dave C.
Gavin's
Dave C.
Dave C. I got coming in. We got Buddy swinging the mighty wrench. We got all you guys out there. Do me a favor. You know what? We're gonna give you a chance to vote on Beto's nickname. Is Beto uncorked or Beto uncorked singular?
Beta recucked.
Beta. beta recon. We can't say that over and over, though.
No,
that's
you
the
can't.
problem. I've accepted not monetizing this stream, and I don't care. And if you're hearing ads because YouTube put them in later, which they did to the Strange New Worlds, I'm sorry, the Enterprise upload that I made, but I got back there inside the first couple of hours and tore all but one ad out. I don't think that you should have to watch more than 1 or 2 ads, but I don't set policy on YouTube. They took care of this before I did it. We can't call them beta, unfortunately.
Beta
but
wetter.
And folks,
I'll add that
when I
one.
looked at this, the first time I saw Anson Mount delivering some lines of people that had just been like injured, coming back from the Galileo, being injured with red painted on their uniforms and all this stuff. The level of just did not give a shit on his face. It looked like he had been at your grocery store and had been bagging groceries on his feet for 14 straight hours with only like the store's 90s pop music like tape going,
All to keep his ex-wife from throwing him into jail for back child support. It was like he wasn't going to keep any of it either. This is a disaster.
exactly. Thank you, Admiral. That even takes it up another level. And I'm sitting here going, Admiral,
just
what's wrong with these guys? There's
my
gotta be
theory-
something going on.
My theory, and we were all talking about this, and no one was able to shake it off, was that there was some sort of problem on the set. Maybe something fell over and almost killed somebody. Maybe they worked them too many hours in one day, too many days in a row, and Kurtzman was breezing in and out of there, living his highfalutin lifestyle. Because all we have is this show to go on. So I'm guessing he's clubbing and just dating and, living his DEI life, as all these people that he's stunt cast into these roles, and are not qualified. And remember what happened to Ruby Rose on Batwoman. She had to quit and go into retirement for a little while to rehab her back because they threw her off a building because they didn't have the best stunt crew. They had the most woke stunt crew. She broke her back and they made her go film the next day or they were going to fire everybody. And that's what they told her in her hospital bed. She broke her NDA to say that. And I guess if the CW had survived, she'd be in trouble, but they didn't. But that's the kind of stuff they're dealing with here. So I think that something almost fell over and almost killed someone, and they were being worked too hard, and the crew's asleep on their feet, and it was a bad. I think there was a cast mutiny, and it seems to me that the only person who would probably not be involved or possibly let it is Ethan Peck, because this season, even though the stories have been shit, Spock almost seems to refuse to take part in the stories. He is not doing a lot of this stuff that the other people are doing, and the jackassery that we saw last season where they really humiliated Spock, Ethan Peck's not doing it. And I think what happened was maybe Rebecca Romaine was finally shamed to standing up for her castmates, or the fact she's not really in this episode and was mostly the lowest paid people. They banded together, but whatever they did, Pike wasn't into being on set. Anson Mount wasn't into being there. He wasn't playing a person disdainful of a reporter. And this episode was shot, I feel like they threw a hand camera, like a cell phone on a selfie stick. And we're just you know what? Do a practice run. And then afterwards, they're that practice was so good, we're just going to use it. We're just going to use it. That's what we're going to do. And they're wait, no, you can't do that.
And that cell
You
phone on
filmed
the
up
stick
my
was
nose.
doubling as a stir stick for the lattes at Starbucks at the same time.
They filmed all of this right up people's noses. Everyone looked even worse. Christine looked even worse. And I guess, again, I'll let Crimon have the final word on this. Do you want to give this a grade and tell us how you felt, Crimon? Crimon?
You're muted there, Mr. K.
You're still
Lot
muted,
of the
Mr.
Crim.
Crimon.
Oh, did I miss something? What I miss?
Yes.
Your letter
you
grade.
missed. Yeah. What grade would you give this garbage?
Oh, it was so bad I wasn't even paying attention. Oh God, I don't even think I can give it a letter.
Incomplete.
I lost track of the episode about 10 seconds in.
Yeah, it really was suggesting that you tweet and stuff the whole time. Like this was an ad for X.
It's definitely going to be somewhere in the F category.
Yeah.
It's going to be somewhere around F. This.
Yeah.
If this if this episode was a person, where would they be intellectually?
Oh, am I even allowed to say that on YouTube?
Say it really politically correctly, and use a lot of euphemisms.
Oh. If there's a euphemism,
Make your case.
There we go. It'd be some sort of tool that's involved inside that case.
By the way, this was the actual star of the episode. By the way,
Yeah,
JT and I have
Pedro's
been debating
rainbow
this
lightsaber holder.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no.
yes.
He thought it was what brand did you think it was?
It was either Snap-on or Craftsman. I wasn't sure, and I thought maybe it was
she's
Snap-on.
using Snap-on.
I think
no,
Craftsman, but that's just me. That's why I
That's
posted
too high
it.
quality. You can't
Well,
use
we
Snap-on.
need see we can actually have an actual debate about this episode.
It's true,
We're gonna
folks. Lieutenant Whitewalls has a crew quarters that is so massive that she has a 2-car garage in just one part of her quarters, where she has a couple motorcycles that she's rebuilding, and Lieutenant Whitewalls has a white tool chest that looks almost exactly like this, except complete with the locks on it too, which I thought was hilarious. Radioactive, you thought it was Craftsman. I thought it was Snap-on. I guess
That was like the most interesting thing in this episode was tool porn. I'm being honest. It's like Zen in the art of motorcycle repair.
Well,
Look,
we always should.
I don't want to scare people away and make them think that this stream is about like building a cabinet. So let me get rid of that. Let's just say the episode. Go ahead, Radio.
I was going to say, all I can say is we should have known from the start that Ortega was into bikes.
Yeah, and things that rhyme with
think you
bikes.
misspelled a word there.
Horrible. But all right, so let's move on from this. We could go back to it at the end of this if we want, but there's good news in the Star Trek world, and that is been out there, and I have a video for which I will now accept praise. Has everyone seen the video?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that was on. I watched it a couple other times afterward. It was really well done. And if anyone out there has not seen Admiral Teague's video today after the stream, please go check it out. It's an excellent video, perfect amount of time, and I'm not just kissing butt. It was really well done.
He's not just
it's one of the
kissing butt,
best Star
he's-
Trek videos
no.
I've seen on YouTube, and that's
That's
honest truth.
a considerable compliment, considering you know what you're talking about. Thank you very much. I did my best. It took a long time to get that script together. I will now accept praise from Jerem. Go ahead.
It's very well put together. I don't agree with the content of it, but as far as production value, very high quality.
What was it you took exception to?
The entire concept of Unity.
Oh, I didn't say that it's the perfect move. I said it's the right. If you wanted to do something right now, it was. And I don't know. Did you disagree with my premise, which is that this was that the reason that they're talking about this is to change the conversation and minimize the damage of SNW.
Oh
That's
no,
the biggest reason.
This is just rats battling over that last piece of cheese.
Well, this would not
Every
be
idea
new
in
Trek.
every idea in Star Trek right now is just fighting for that last scraps before the end of the world.
Or the first piece of the new Star Trek equation. I don't know. JT, what did you think of the
It
video?
was a
I'll
trial
now
balloon,
accept
I
praise.
think. They're floating trial balloons to see what the reaction is and what people want.
I haven't had a chance to read the article called "Talks Continue" with Scott Bakula, but I mean, we know that he was interested in the idea. This is when the pitch was made, though, 2016. So I'm sure he talked about it in flattering but non-committal terms to the Comic-Con. I was pretty honest about how I felt about the information and how I waited until I did to release the video. But if they did make the show, I think that I described my ideal of it. I don't know if anyone else has an ideal of what a Enterprise sequel will look like. I'm realistic enough to realize that if we see T'Pol at all, it will be on a view screen on Vulcan in a cowl, and she'll maybe voice it. I don't think she has any interest.
With a babushka, maybe.
I just don't think she has much interest in doing it. I do think that she cares a little bit about the fans, and I do think she's friends with her cast. I think if all of them called her up, and I do think that she's the kind of person who was. I think they all genuinely got along. I don't mean they're actors, who knows, but they seem to genuinely get along. All the rest of them have had this relationship for years afterwards because they need to go to the cons. I'm sure Jolene Blaylock has not been to a con since she married the guy from Live Nation, who made $140 million in 2023 alone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I could scrape by on that.
Yeah. So, Admiral, your video, it was a great take on a very hot topic at the moment. I don't know if I ever want to see another Enterprise series again. I don't think there's much there to explore that would benefit us as Trek fans, but interesting idea. So, sir, well done. Thank you for your attention in this matter.
You're welcome. You know what? Here's the thing. There's a video I played at the beginning of this from Linda Park where she says, "I love this getting a whole new life in streaming." That bears out in streaming numbers. It is the number 2 most watched original continuity Star Trek show out of all. I think Next Generation is the only one that beats it because there's more seasons. 2 more seasons. So this is outperforming
3.
Deep Space Nine. Well, 4. Yeah, there's 3 more seasons. Yeah, there's almost twice as much. There's 4 seasons of Enterprise, about 100 episodes. It's being watched more than Deep Space Nine. It's being watched more than TOS. But there's 3 seasons of that, the least of any like real Star Trek show. It's getting watched more than Voyager. Really understandable, although I prefer Voyager over DS9 because you can just drop in and out of Voyager. And Deep Space Nine, while better, that Byzantine plot they wind out the series with really gets complex, and it really takes a lot. You need a pegboard and a whiteboard. You need a pegboard for Strange New Worlds.
Isn't it interesting to you guys? I'd like to know what you guys think, because Enterprise is pretty much commonly held as the quote unquote worst, or not the least good, pardon my English, of the original canon series, and yet it is getting more view time than except for TNG.
I believe this is its syndication life. It's 4 seasons. It's 4 seasons of pretty solid Star Trek that most everybody hasn't seen, and you can now skip the song.
And I think it's more that people have come down on Voyager, especially because there was years there whereas Jerry Ryan, then that specialness kind of wore off, and they realized these episodes are kind of crap.
And you know what's funny? Crazy a few times at cons to convince people not to like her too. So there's crazy behavior from the behavior of the Next Generation cast. Seems like it was going great when they were cracking us up on Family Guy, and just a few years after that, they're all being insufferable when they get mixed up with the new Trek people. It's crazy how fast their behavior fell off the table and we went from liking all of them to having a problem with most of them very quickly. I only can deal with Geordi and Data. I like Brent Spiner. I like LeVar Burton, and I like Gates McFadden.
LeVar's had his own things.
LeVar's
But the real thing is, some of them are
the
words,
only reason
some
my
of
kid
them
can
are
read.
actions. Like the whole thing with a lot of that TNG cast is like, look, Patrick Stewart really did not acquit himself well in Picard season 1 and 2, and a lot of the demands that he made with the last Star Trek movie, Nemesis, kind of ruined the movie in a lot of ways, just to give him his pet project. You look at Jonathan Frakes. Now, people don't like to talk ill of him, but he was the one that made a lot of these bad episodes in Kurtzman Land. He made that horrible episode with the No Eyes ensign and all that crap that we saw. That he made the holodeck one. I'm sorry. He was the one that he himself as an actor was amazed about a holodeck, and then he goes ahead and does that. he's done a lot of damage to his reputation by his works, not by what he says. You've got your Tim Russes, you've got your Troys. I don't even want to give her, oxygen on her name. She's persona non grata to me. A lot of those people just say horrible things online and then get away with it.
Well,
But
LeVar
some of these
Burton
others-
believes in consequence culture.
Yes, he
said
did
that on
say that,
camera.
but I guess he was trying to, like, I don't know. We'll have to watch it, but at the time, my thought was like, ooh, he doesn't want to say that he believes in cancel culture, but he can't fully condemn it either. So he's like, well, maybe people shouldn't be canceled, but we shouldn't have murderers on TV.
Well,
it seemed like he tried to say something pretty safe.
See,
no,
consequence
LeVar
culture is
sold out.
worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
consequence culture, that phrase is worse than cancel culture.
Is it?
Because if you call it cancel culture, you're saying someone canceled you. And if you say
Right.
consequence culture, it's making it all the fault of the person who's suffering those consequences. You know what I
hadn't thought
mean?
of
So
that.
he's like,
Yeah.
well, it's like, hey, you put your hand on the hot stove. That's your consequence. That's your fault. That's why I detest
I
that
mean,
fucking term.
I can't wait for the episode called "Put Your Hand on the Stove." That would be the first name Strange New Worlds episode that would be named correctly. So, I guess one of the hopes we would have if in this reset that they're talking about, and I will restate again what I felt in my video. And please, the video is pinned to the top of the chat. It needs likes and love. It needs to be watched. It's one of our higher performers, but we really want to get our message across on this one. And I think that it's going to remain a good performer because I think that it's going to stay topical for a while. You know what? Paramount doesn't have to make Trek United to do what they already wanted to do. In the 2 weeks that they have actually been in charge, the only Trek move that I can trace to new Paramount, where I'm willing to say this looks like it came from the top and not from Kurtzman, is mixing it up with this Trek United conversation and giving it fuel. To which I say, brilliant, well played, gentlemen. You have managed to get the conversation moved away from this terrible Kurtzman Trek to a time when Star Trek was good. You've at least refocused the conversation. You've taken the initiative away from Kurtzman. He's been running wild for 8 years, saying one outrageous thing after another as the only way to capture attention after he turned everyone off with historical low ratings. And now we're focusing on an idea of a Star Trek show that had like one of the more masculine captains, like more masculine than Picard, as masculine as Cisco.
Well, more masculine than Picard. That's not a high bar. A Frenchman, after all.
Picard, like his deal was like he laser focused in on like one conquest per season. Like Vosh was pretty damn hot. Like Captain
alright.
Captain Archer sort of like falls prey to his primal instincts, like something left over from when he turns into the lizard that time, because his taste in women is all over the place. His ideal woman is like very gettable. Like Stacy Naziki or whatever her name is, that woman who keeps reappearing. She's first. We see her as a Suliban wearing like a holographic costume or whatever it might be. Then we see her as the slug creature. And everyone who could read his mind takes the form of this same actress so that she could appear a few times. So his idea of the ideal woman is like, she's pretty gettable. Everyone's done at least that well. So it's just like, when like Archer seems like he feels more falls prey to his his instincts get the better of him, and he comes off focused from work and needs to like get with a chick every once in a while in a way that Kirk naturally organically came across. Like Archer just like goes nuts and has a crazy relationship with the captain of the other ship because he used to date her for like one episode. Remember that one? I mean, that's still in the pipeline. That's not going to be
Picard also date the captain that was the Judge Advocate General on that starbase.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
and he also, it's implied that he has a relationship with Admiral Nechayev.
Well, he also dated that commander that played the piano. That was a good episode called Lessons.
She was probably the most beautiful one, I thought.
Yeah,
She
I
would've
like
been a
her.
great
Yeah,
fit
he has
for
that
him, too.
relationship, and goes public about it, and he finds out he can't. That was a good one.
That was a great episode.
It was a good bottle episode with very good talent. I really would like to get everybody's idea of an idealized version of the Enterprise show. While I believe it's Radioactive's turn to praise my video. What did you think of my premise and my video? Did you get a chance to watch the Trek United Scott Bakula Star Trek video that I made?
Yes, I did. I liked it. I thought
Thank
you did
you.
a great job on the editing.
I did
That's
my
impressed.
best. Thanks. Yeah, that might be my
as far
best
as
video
the
yet.
speculation is concerned in it, from the this other Trek commentator.
Tachyon Pulse is a channel with about 6,000 subs, and I thought it was more. Did it go down?
Yeah, it's he only shows a couple thousand at most, I think, at this point. But irrespective,
But it was higher, wasn't it? It was higher for a while.
Let me do a quick check.
But I thought he was up around 12. But we see a lot of channels playing this weird game.
6.47K right now.
Right. Yeah, that was what he's and what's his video from yesterday got? Is he up to his usual for 4,000, 5,000, 12,000 views?
His last one that shows
6 to
card
12,000?
shows 1K.
That's new, though.
The one that you're probably referring to, let me double check. But
Look at one
anyways,
that's at least a day old.
the important thing is the content that he's talking about. I would say it's kind of potato at this point. I mean,
it's a lot of
trying
wish
to-
fulfillment. It's
Yeah,
a
he's
lot of
trying
stuff you
to-
want to hear. Everyone wants to hear Serenity and Firefly is coming back. It's never fucking coming back. Everyone wants to hear that the Battlestar Galactica reboot or sequence or
canceled
another
that.
episode.
they canceled that about a year ago now for Universal. That's not going forward as far
There'll
as
be a new BSG production in 5 to 10 more years. There will be.
As
There
far
probably
as,
will be.
As far as Archer coming back for a new, a sequel to the prequel, which was a sequel to the other prequel. Yeah, I agree with JT. I don't see the utility in having Archer as president of the Federation, and then he's going to then end up going out into space, and then they're going to try to basically redo the Enterprise at a later point. I don't see the utility in that. And at this point, the franchise, like so many of these franchises, they need a rest. They need to take 5 years minimum off.
Well,
That's where I disagree because they already have. We haven't had any
that
Trek
might
for
be
9
true.
years.
There's been no interest in this stuff.
If
I
they
hear
put
what
up
you're
a
saying.
series, if they put up a new series and it was good and it was just like the old Trek, we would be loving it. We'd be eating it up.
I
think we're
said this in the
starving
video.
for it.
Yeah, I
don't
said that in
think
the
it
video.
would, though. The core fans would love it, but financially, I think it's bound to be a failure because we've been through, at this point, 15 years, 16 years.
That's why
of
I say keep it a
absolute
TV
hell.
movie. How about a Broken Bow length movie? Just, and Captain
I
Tucker does
disagree.
some exciting stuff.
Admiral, I really disagree. I think the best Trek ever done has been on the small screen, not on the big screen. Even though there are 2 great Trek movies and a couple other good ones, I think the best Trek is on the small screen. And like Radioactive
This is
was
such a
saying,
bad state for Trek that I feel that it needs to be a really quality streaming movie that gets great reviews and builds up a lot of watches. I think that starting small is a very good idea. And if we can have just enough action, and I believe our disposition at the end of this is Trip is allegedly dead, but we have time travelers and other shit to reset anything anyway. So I think Captain or Admiral Trip serving President Archer makes sense at this point.
I still think, though, Admiral, with all due respect, a streaming movie is a waste of time for the property. I think it is
It's a
not
conversation
starting small.
changer.
I think it's not starting small, but the problem is when you have Trek, you need a crew, and you need that crew sustained over time. to get you to a movie. If you just start out with a movie, you end up like Star Trek 2009 that had a stupid but money-making first movie. Then you had a stupid second movie, and by the third movie, they figured out they had nothing to do with it, and now they can't get to a fourth movie because there's just nothing there, and it's been 10 years. With everything that's been a success in Star Trek, they have a crew on TV that does seasons, and that crew builds over time, and that was starting small. It gives them something to work with. If they just do a streaming movie, look, okay, you have one crew, and it took you 5 years to get this to the screen. By the time from when you started getting the money and getting the actors together to actually getting that on screen, now what are you going to do?
Let me
tell
let
you how
me
that works.
let me point out one other little critical piece of information. I've come across a few videos from the Star Trek convention in Vegas, and I've shared a couple of those with Teague. And I must say, what I have seen from it, here's the thing you need to keep in mind. There's two takeaways I had from it, from what I noticed. One was the demographics of the people that were there at this Trek Con in Vegas, which was getting upwards like 50 plus. Okay. The second thing was it was sparse. That is to say, there was not that many people at this event. And compared to what I recall when I went to a Trek convention, the last one I actually went to was probably early 2000s, but I was in LA, and I went
Well,
to
I
Pasadena.
would say
And
the sparse attendance makes sense, as we've all been told to move on by these people a few times.
well, I mean, what I'm getting at is that you, even amongst the die-hard Trek people, okay, it was sparsely attended, at least from what I could see. And what I found ironic is I found out that it
hurts,
was
but it
held
makes
at it was
sense.
held at the Rio Resort in Vegas, which is roughly about a quarter mile to the west of the rest of the Strip, and
It's off the
Okay.
strip.
it's off
I
the
know what
Strip.
that means.
Okay, it's off the Strip. However, apparently the hotel was sold out, which to me I thought was ironic because there was a guy walking around the entire hotel. I'm thinking, wow, one, the Rio isn't doing very well if this is like a good weekend, considering it's sold out for the Trek convention.
So it's
There's
in the
not many
Vegas
people there.
equivalent of Hoboken.
Yeah,
Well, the thing is, like back in the day, it would have been held at the Vegas Convention Center, which is
Yes.
enormous.
which is
And if
where
they're
it
just
had
holding
been
it in a
held.
hotel, it's dead.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah, it was
The
held at
apathy is
it
set
was
in.
at the Rio Resort, and I don't recall. We'd have to go and look. We probably find videos the past couple of years, but I think last year it may have been held at the Palms. They've held it off the Strip. I don't recall the last time they held it at the convention center. But they used to have,
Beto Wetter is winning, by the way.
they used to have that Trek experience thing that was at the
Wish I could have gotten
that
that.
was at Bally's.
well, no, it wasn't at Bally's. It was at the
Yeah, it was
what's now
Bally's.
called the
It was
West,
Hilton.
it was the Hilton Weston or whatever it's called now.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah,
near
it was the Las
Hilton.
Vegas Hilton. You're correct. Yes.
Yeah, it's,
yes,
the,
yes.
it's the one off it's near the convention center on their monorail.
Guys,
Okay.
this is the
They
lone.
taped over the
This was the
branding.
lone enjoyable moment of the episode. To be honest
the
with you,
star of the show
this was
is-
not a good moment. I didn't enjoy it. I'm saying in context, this was the most triumphant moment of the episode. It was just Melissa Navia, who's not the worst actress. She just plays a terrible character, who's doing an all right job. She's the only person. She seems to have been brought in later to impose a calmer moment to this, because her acting's a little more on point, and I guess they had to give her some more money to do it. So she's not as miserable as the rest of the cast was, and she's not as miserable as she herself is at other points in the episode, but not on the bridge. On the bridge, she's the only person who isn't miserable. I got to give her, like, honestly, it took some acting for her to not be miserable because no one else tried. I mean, I don't think on the bridge was on the bridge might have been the one scene where, whether we had them there or not, like we had Pike reacting. He was slumped in that chair, like he just looked like it's the worst
Can
day
you
of his
enhance
life.
around the head? Enhance. enhance. I'm wondering what's next to her haircut on the right.
What's that green phallic shaped thing that got thrown into frame?
The black cylindrical object.
15 to 23.
See it?
Personal torpedo.
I think that's like a Sonos speaker or something, isn't it? And on the left, that's why it looks like.
There's a little this place is a little too worldly, and the fact that a woman chooses to spend her time working on a motorcycle. I mean, hey, Ortegas, grow your hair in. Let's see how you look. Maybe we'll go out. I know. Here's the thing: Melissa Navia isn't that horrible looking and is straight. You would never know it. She's a good enough actress to pull off this horrible, horrible human being that Ortegas is. I have such hatred for Ortegas, and I have nothing but good feelings towards Melissa Navia, who I think is just very nice on X, never says anything controversial. We're talking much nicer than Tim Russ. We're talking much more approachable than other people. I've never seen her tweet anything antisocial. She toes the line and does what she's very professional, and I feel she's managed to make me, she's managed to make me feel bad for her to the point that I guess I'm taking up her cause when I say I think maybe some of this could have been, if I had to imagine it, and I do, that people might have called out Rebecca Romaine for being distant and uncaring because she's already taken care of, and letting these lower tier actors who are trapped into this and shanghaied when they were told that this was, they were told this was going to be like 3 seasons or 4 seasons, 3 seasons with an option for 4. They find out season 1 is season 0. So then season 2 is season 1, because season 0, season 1 is part of Discovery, and technically never happened. So think about that. So that's their first season. Season 2 is season 1. Season 1, their contract is supposed to be up for renegotiation for season 3, but it's not, right? So season 1 is season 1 again. So they have to do season 1 twice to get to season 2. In season 3, the quality falls off the table because I think that's when they hit the cast with it. They're angry, but they think they have options. They have gotten forced into doing this, and no one is happy to be here, is my opinion. I believe that there was a mutiny on set of some kind, if even everyone was there at the same time. If there weren't enough people for a full-on mutiny, there was shared disdain for being in this episode by everyone but Melissa Navia, who might have done a lot of this work alone. She was good in a terrible role. This was a terrible episode. And this is why New Paramount, I got to give them props for this. The most hopeful thing is that they have changed up the talk. Like we're doing more cope and more therapy on this episode than the episode itself honestly deserves. And it is our visual. So I guess now I would say to Crimlon, what did you think of my video? Would you like to praise me for a while?
Yeah, I watched your video. Yeah, honestly, I completely forgot to watch your video. I was asleep most of the afternoon.
That's fine, man. No, it's not a real military, but yeah, you know what? You just fabricate for a while some praise, and we'll move on to talking about how you're right.
Episode, it was so on point.
Very controversial too.
Very controversial.
Very controversial, sir.
No, knowing you. You called all the BS that's going on with them, and you did a great job doing it.
Oh, thanks, Crimlon. You know what? Ortegas does have the most interesting life, and look, even when we're in her cabin, it's murky and dark. But she does have the most interesting life of any of these losers. And there's the tool cabinet that everyone's thinking of getting. Now, this was on set, and someone got a new one, so they just spray painted it gray and put some masking tape on other parts, and you could even see the stickers that the crew had put on there. They had to take off all the production stickers and goofy stuff, and they couldn't get some of them off, and it's sprayed over. This is the kind of road case you see on set. This is something they had but work again.
See, this is the big controversy here that me and JT are trying to ruminate over. What is the brand name right there on that toolbox?
We
not
believe it's
sure.
I believe it's a
You think it's
craftsman.
craftsman. Okay.
Well,
feel
I
it's a
don't know.
craftsman.
That's what I'm.
Let's
We're-
take a
It's a
picture of it and then send it into the AI to see what the answer is.
Well, that's
It
what
probably
we-
says Kurtzman because that's the kind of thing he would have a detail-oriented thing. I want on the handle for it to say Kurtzman.
But now, keep in mind that JT has shared in the private chat another link to a different type of toolbox made by Milwaukee. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, you know what?
It's talk about it in this episode.
It's the most important part of the episode is
toolbox.
that,
AI
and that's how
AI
sad
has
we are.
stated it's a craftsman.
Oh.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
Crimlon is being very controversial. What can I tell you, sirs
Looks
and
like it
madams?
might say craftsman on there.
Yeah, Grandmaster AI says it's.
We're gonna have to let the imagination work on that one because
You
again,
know
people are
what?
gonna
It
think that
is.
this is a stream about how to put together your fucking purchase from IKEA or from Sears. Here's the thing, guys. There's not much to talk about in the good news. The video really covered it all, and I want to thank everybody for the Politburo style praise. You'll get better at it. Germ, you were a little off message there. You might have to be taken outside and executed with anti-aircraft guns if you do something like that
Wow.
again.
Wow.
No,
Communist.
Don't you mean
deletion.
no. I am a Baathist on this one. I believe in Baath Party rules. I saw this great documentary about a guy that I
know what you're
admire.
talking about.
I admire the leadership style of a man. Now, listen, he was an evil man. I'm not praising the man, but it's not
He had a
too
mustache.
soon. It's not too soon anymore to talk about this guy that he got his ass kicked and he got what was coming to him. He got justice from us, Saddam Hussein, and I love. 40 years ago, in 1970, when he took control of Iraq, Saddam sat down on TV and smoked a cigar like a pimp, like in Scarface, and wore a white suit, I believe, and sat up on a dais and just randomly picked out names of people and said, you know what, there's a conspiracy going on against me, and these are the motherfuckers doing it. And as he named guys, like a group mind self-protecting mentality set in among the rest of his legislative body, like his House of Representatives or his parliament. And the more people they dragged out, the more people would like start getting into it with him. Like as the people were dragged out, others would run in and punch him and be like, yes, Saddam, you're doing the best things. It's like, I always thought that that's the best way to run sort of a cabinet meeting or a review, or when I have my panel review my video.
Teague, may I point something out from the chat, and I think you will probably wildly concur with this.
Sure.
Fowl just brought up a very excellent point. It's the Sydney Sweeney Bath Party that's the best.
Ooh, I got the right one. You know what? I saw that. I think what was going to happen was someone was going to speculate, buy it all, and sell it on eBay for like a lot more than it's going for. But it was great publicity for her, and she was one step removed from that. Sydney Sweeney, since the Rolling Stones gifted us to her in that video that is woven into the video I play every show as we end, which is why you should stay to the end of the show. But you know what? Ever since the Rolling Stones gave her to us, it's like, you know what? We may be dirty old men, but like I've got 60 years of coxmanship under me belt, and this is one fine lass. And she has not let us down. We came under attack for using her because first she was shown as a child in Madam Web, and also she was in I'm sorry, what is that show where they oppress women and make them have babies and stuff like that? It's like the
View.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
The one where they make them dress like nuns and walk. It takes place in D.C. It's,
Reality?
what the fuck? Handmaid's Tale. She was in Handmaid's Tale. So people are like she had a following of like the woke people, and it turns out Sydney Sweeney is like into being beautiful, doesn't want to be de-aged into Sydney Sweeney, will rebel against having a reputation attacked, and can put together a fairly good movie and even get a good performance out of Raffi, something that was never done by Star Trek, because Michelle Hurd is not a problem in Anyone But You, a fun movie. And by the way, this day brings great news. It has seen the beginning of the end of Strange New Worlds, and it has seen the end of J.J. Abrams' filmatic career. His cinematic career is over. I'm going to break a little news here. This broke like a wet fart 3 weeks ago. But this broke like a wet
newsfire.
Thank you, JT. No, this broke like a wet fart a few weeks ago. Is that whole continuity is over?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
think
would
it's
love
been
it. Who
over for
wouldn't,
quite
who
a
wouldn't
while.
love it?
But
The,
it's officially
Mhm.
they've kind of like cemented it. It's like it's definitely
well,
over.
the fact they want to bring Bakula back means that it's got to be over. Look, the whole thing about this talk is what do you do with Star Trek next? Not how do you
All I
keep
know
Trek
is-
alive. It's where do we go from here? Because this ain't it.
Look,
And
it's not promises kept yet, but I have made substantial progress in saving Star Trek, and I am quite proud. Krimon is laying down for it. Krimon, I'll be there
I
later.
think you need
power,
to show.
my power bottom.
If can you show the little link there with Sydney Sweeney? I shared with you guys in the private chat. I think everyone else should see this if they can, at least some of it. It's a short.
Very controversial, sir. I don't know if I can show it. Let me see.
Well, you can
it's
show it.
got
Still
two
not
cues.
good.
It's got
She
phaser
looks hot.
type 2.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's got a fucking gun.
No, she's got a Type 0 phaser.
Yeah, she's got. Yeah, but I can't. Like Tony got it.
She's John Wicking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to look.
Heavy
Yeah.
John
No,
Wick.
I know she went out plinking and she was real good with the piece, and I think that was great. The thing is that like they're trying to say that this confirms she's a recreational shooter. It might mean that she is. She showed some skill with the gun, is what I understand. Here's what I'm gonna say: whether I think the most flattering way to take this one, and like the truth is the best. The truth is the best, but. If this was the truth, it would also be quite flattering. She had no real interest in guns, but she learned how to use them and train with them because she was impressed by the level of dedication shown by someone like Keanu Reeves, and she wants to be ready for an action role right now.
Well, I'm gonna
and she
tell you
can do it now.
I'm going to tell you
We just
something
saw it.
about this specific range. I when Keanu was training for John Wick, guess what range he was at? The same one she's at right now. Exactly.
It's like an hour and a half from LA, right? She's somewhere in
Something
Vegas
like
or
that.
outside Vegas. Yeah.
Well, not outside Vegas. She's outside LA. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
She went somewhere outside LA where she was able to do that. And no, Sydney
This
Sweeney
mean we'll
looks
see
very.
here in the Naked Gun.
Sydney Sweeney should have been in the Naked Gun. I appreciate
Yeah,
Pamela
yeah,
Anderson's
yeah.
comic
Yeah.
skill and all, but I mean, Sydney Sweeney should have been in this
Well,
one.
she's too young to mess with Liam Neeson.
She does have a particular set of skills.
She didn't
Yeah,
have
two
to
of them.
be the love interest. She didn't, and Pamela Anderson didn't have to not be in it. It's just that we could have had a Sydney Sweeney in it without changing anything. I'm just saying Sydney Sweeney should probably be in all movies. And like after seeing her in like Planes Down with Tom Cruise, I don't know if we need to see Anna de Armas in every single movie anymore.
I gotta. Yeah, there you go.
If we could start like removing some of the other stuff, because if I remove it, I kick you from the studio. So if anybody could get rid of your old screenshots, I would appreciate that one. Oh yeah, there we go.
Here,
It's not uncanny because it's not her on top of her anymore. So like, anyway, going forward, like the new Star Trek United show, if it had Sydney Sweeney, would definitely do a lot better. Like we're not going to get Jolene Blaylock. So what do you think of this? To Mel. Or to Sid. To Sid is the new Vulcan emissary. The Vulcans are now, a little more on an even par with the humans. The humans have leveled up. Let's say the humans are the ones who invent the replicators. That might really shift the power dynamic the humans' way and earn the Vulcans' respect, where they would have to start having a little less of the snobbery we saw in Enterprise. And also, like, I want to meet Jackson Roykirk. Can we get Jackson Roykirk into this somehow? Somehow, please, Jackson Roykirk. But I think that if they were to do a streaming 90-minute quality movie, even if it did. Let's assume it has no action component first, and then project forward. Star Trek Enterprise, and let me see if I can find Hoshi or something here. Star Trek Enterprise is the most divisive original Star Trek show, and arguably a lot of people have said the first like non-Star Trek show was too far removed. It was almost Star Trek fanfic. I'm saying we still have Roddenberry's core of people like hired and who had worked with him involved enough that they and they had respect. I think Doomcock says, with respect, we accept. They didn't do it perfectly all the time, and God knows when they mess around with the Romulans, we hate it. But there was respect. So as far as Enterprise goes, personally, I accept Enterprise as legitimate Star Trek. It's just, it really is the most divisive, and it loses its way a lot when it decides to not be a sci-fi show. And we have a lot of Cloak and Dagger episodes and a lot of time travel, like too much.
And that's what you're going to get if you have another Star Trek Enterprise show with President Bakula or something else with Scott Bakula. I did just put a picture of him in the private chat here. If you want to show it or not show it, that's fine. He just looks too old to be a captain on a starship now. You'll end up just looking like P-Hard again. And people are tired of that. People are tired of that.
He can't be the captain. He can't be the captain. He can't beat anyone up anymore. I like Scott Bakula, but that's a little too much of an ask.
I don't want another Enterprise show. I think we already did the prequel.
Let's make him Scott Macula so that everyone can see him.
Yeah. He's too old. I don't think that there's enough left.
He looks great for 72.
Yeah, okay. So then you're going to have a non-Star Trek show where you have to have an admiral or a President Bakula. I just don't see that being.
Let's get this straight. No one here thinks this is happening. No one here thinks this is happening. But because they have changed the conversation, let's just say this thing flukes its way into reality. And we've seen stuff like that happen. This, as a fan, if they committed to do this, I would be, to a point, okay with it. And I would be willing to allow it, because I think it would be okay for us as Star Trek fans to have. Let's just go with the worst case scenario. We bring back a lot of the original people. There's no control and no Kurtzman component. We do things like have a biome in every room where when we walk from one room to the next, there's a noticeable change of the atmospherics. A starship sounds like a starship. Every starship sounds just a little different. We have appropriate musical cues. The story isn't a garbage fire. If we can do these things and have a 90-minute episode where maybe Scott Bakula gets into one fight and gets bailed out, maybe by like Sydney Sweeney's new Vulcan character or whoever the new Vulcan would be. Let's assume she's really hot. We'll find a hot woman in Hollywood. Trust me, we'll do it. And we'll make her unapologetically beautiful, and we'll let her beat somebody up because she's a Vulcan. We can do some woke stuff without fucking with Star Trek. Star Trek, the thing that these people have proven is that they're bad at everything, because we could have written Star Trek that was, very woman-friendly and empowered women by simply having a female Vulcan character be 3 times stronger than a human male, like they're supposed to be. Spock's 5 times stronger than Kirk.
The real reason why this would all fail is because it's too safe. It's too safe, and they're thinking, well, we don't want to take a risk on Star Trek anymore, but we want the money. So let's do something safe. So let's just go back to the last crew that we had and see what we can dredge out of them. If we wanted to do yet another prequel, we could go to the 1701B era with the Excelsior class. We could go to the 1701C era with the Ambassador class. They won't do that. There's stories you could tell in that space, but they won't do that because all they see is Enterprise. That's the most safe. Let's do this. The real thing that they need to do, and it is too risky for what they want to spend money on now, is to go to the end of Voyager, pick a new crew, and do something new into the future. That's what they need to do.
That would be
and they
best,
won't do it.
or
It's too risky. It's for them financially. It's too
it
risky.
shouldn't be
and
the
something
end of
like Enterprise
Voyager.
will fail.
It shouldn't be the end
It
of
has
Voyager.
to
It should
be.
be beyond the end of the last TNG movie. Because if it's the end of Voyager, you still have a little bit of trash track left.
The end of Voyager is beyond the end of the TNG movie.
No, it's not.
So
Is
you,
it?
No, Nemesis was well.
Yeah, there's like
because in
3
Nemesis,
more movies.
in
after
Nemesis,
Voyager
we
ends.
see Admiral Janeway.
Nemesis-
That's
First Contact was
Nemesis
Admiral Janeway.
did not happen.
no,
There is
that was
no such
Nemesis.
thing as
She sends him to
Nemesis.
Romulus.
Oh wow, Jerem is a convert to the to the Nexus theory. Jerem, you've earned yourself getting moved up one slot in the totem pole.
Nemesis. What's that?
I feel bad for
but in
Krimwan. He's been on the bottom
It was
all
Admiral
night. Let's
Janeway
move him up a
sends him
little.
to Romulus. She said, "Go get the lay of the land." As I
We'll
smoke
big
another
big in Krimwan for a moment.
Oh, it's a new avatar. He's drunk.
I think this is his sympathy for the Kurtzman avatar. You're still muted,
I
Krimwan.
can't take it anymore. Yeah, I just can't take it anymore.
That's where they need to be, is in the future, in the near future, right after the end of the TNG movies and Voyager, and maybe try and peel back some of the damage that the final episode of Voyager did with the super space future tech, or just ignore it. Right?
I'll
Just
tell you-
pretend that last
I
episode
gotcha.
didn't happen and go.
I
Just
have a thought on something they could do that would really breathe some life. And what they could do is do what BSG did. They started with a miniseries, and have a plan for a season, a regular episodic series after that. But you start with a really high production value made for TV miniseries, like 5 really, really good hour-long episodes. You set the stage. And then what they could do, they could even make like 3 or 4 miniseries that almost like Yellowstone did. And you can have
Or like Futurama did when they had no network.
Yeah, but like think like Yellowstone, they had 8, the different series. They could do
Right.
something like that and lead
Do a
up
few
to
limited runs.
Yeah, and lead up to the end of Voyager. So like let us see what happens in the Enterprise C era. Let us see what happens in the Enterprise B era. And they could do that with like 2
The
miniseries.
possibilities are infinite. You have novels that are good you
Sure.
can take from, and you're right. Like we have an enormous chance here. And let me just, before we go on this one, I'm going to expand on this. I talked about how it exists as a pitch and an idea. I'm going to tell you what I think that pitch would consist of right now if they didn't change the way things stood, because I believe we end with a
know.
dead Trip, right? We
The
end with
lone
Trip
outside
dead.
slider by
We can bring Trip back,
Yeah.
by the way, with stuff built. The worst parts of Star Trek Enterprise are the best features of a sequel, sir. Before we get to your floor, I noticed the elevator doors are just about to close. Let me start. Here we go. This show is canonical to all other Star Trek shows and wouldn't make the decision to change who you use as the main creator immediate anymore. You could wait out Kurtzman, sir. Also, it's taken over the conversation very quickly. What we have here is a West Wing type political show with a side action sequence with Hoshi and Reed, who will have to deal with some spies, and it's going to be some fisticuffs and some cloak and dagger fighting. It'll be good stuff, just like from the Enterprise show that couldn't find an audience but is still better than this stuff. We've hired a great guy to do the score, and 4 more floors. Okay, I'll get to the point. The point is we have Scott willing to give a great President Bartlett-like conversation. We have a script that's up to it, that has gravitas. We don't take on any social issues. I think that this is a healing, purging moment where we flush out the bad water with good and make the last thing that people saw. It doesn't even have to be continued. TV movie Trek United, as in context of a TV movie, would be absolutely great. Oh, wait, the elevator's stuck? Hold on, I have one more thing to add. You want Trip back, you say? Since we have an extra minute, there's a part about the show that people really hated, too, that also is appealing here. It was called the Temporal Cold War. We could just time travel Trip back into being alive very easily, sir. He dies very close to the end of the show, sirs. We could very easily get back Trip. It's not a problem.
All I have
Sir,
to
it doesn't
say,
matter.
Teague,
No one cares. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
all I can say, Teague, is I mean, you guys have put forward some interesting ideas, but I think if the Craftsman toolbox isn't the captain of the ship, what's the point?
Wait, you know what? Without that Craftsman,
It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Saying that I crushed her skull and that I shot her.
Toolbox.
ooh, Harrison, man, that's the weirdest thing you've said in a long time.
Imagine
Or
You
at
know,
least he should be the engineer. He should at least be the engineer.
Harrison, what was the one thing you would want people to know about me as Admiral Teague, the character?
He had a mechanical arm.
You're goddamn right. It's pretty powerful too. I could pick people up just like
This
Khan.
show were any good, they could have like gotten a sponsor.
Ours or theirs?
No, you know what I mean. If
Very controversial, sir.
if SNW was any good, they could have made a special edition Lieutenant Whitewall Craftsman toolbox and sold it for like twice the money.
Oh,
this show,
yes.
this show was
There
any
you
good. If this show was any good, when they said that this had to be something left over from when they were not going to go to arbitration. When Netflix was like, "Well, fuck you, we'll go to court." This isn't real TV yet. This is streaming TV. Maybe we'll blaze a new path here. We're saying you made it bad on purpose to get fired. And this could have been Exhibit A left over from that because this is from early on. And this is, if this isn't sabotage, this is disdainful level of incompetence. And how stupid are you, the people that you've hired? You know, I'm not saying every actor has to like Star Trek, but you have to have someone who likes Star Trek orient people. At least your hero character here, our hero character is just like, you know, overarmed. She's just like, she's packing way too much ammo. You know,
Well,
like,
there
and she's
is
gonna
a
delete
rule
herself.
One of the rules of phaser safety is, you know, always, never point or always pointed at what you're intending to phase.
You know what? The villain in this
So-
show would obviously be, it would naturally lend to be the Romulans, in my opinion. Anyone?
Well, all I can say is in this scene, Craftsman Toolbox would have got this right.
Yeah, the Craftsman toolbox is better than their last use of props.
Sir,
I'll
that was
just
so
say-
controversial. Sir.
Oh, sir. Sirs and madams, that's my elevator pitch, and that if with the distasteful temporal Cold War could bring back everybody that we need or nobody. If we have to explain why some people aren't there, T'Pol could be pursuing her, Ponfar or her Kolinar, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. And I still think there is fertile room for, if they put on a dramatic movie with no action component about Captain Archer, legacy fans would watch it, and it would be a conversation changer, and it would be a palate cleanser. And if we just had an action scene with another captain that maybe we could get to like in the future, and someone not member buried, or maybe a young I don't know, but we haven't gotten to the point where still we would still be 40 years before Kirk's parents have just met at this point, if anything, right?
So, Admiral, I want to go back to this episode or this series. Next week, what are we going to see? King Ghidorah, Rodan, Gigan.
I don't know, but they got to sing or dance before the end, and there's only 3 episodes left.
We'll see that.
I feel like Admiral Avatar from Star Blazers. It's like the show has only 3 episodes left to endure.
There is an upcoming episode called Terrarium. And Terrarium.
We had 2 different predictions on that one.
Well,
we have 2 different
I
predictions.
have a new prediction on this. Terrariums are good for growing plants. What time of year is good for growing plants? The springtime. Now we need a musical episode here.
Springtime for Hitler?
Sir,
I think they'll do springtime for Star Trek.
springtime for Star Trek. Here we go.
Plant springtime. You better get your Brondo.
Strange New Worlds. It's what plants
Yeah,
crave.
that does seem like a future of Idiocracy.
I think we might, Admiral, Terrarium, we might get a springtime for Star Trek out of this.
Or you going with your monster motif. Maybe we're going to have Mecha Godzilla.
Oh, I would actually like to see that. Better than this shit. Admiral's broken. He's straight up broken. He's like, I don't know what to fucking do with this.
Mecha Godzilla would be awesome, especially if he goes up against Captain Craftsman.
I mean, what next but Calculon for these people, right? I mean, photons for sale or rent. I mean, that's what we're coming up against next week. I mean, we only have 3 episodes left, and one of them they've committed to being a musical, unless that stupid Space Adventure Hour was this year's experimental musical. But I mean, it's like,
well,
what about the Muppets?
So what? Yeah, well, no, that's next season.
Photons for sale or rent. To lithium, just 50 cents.
Now, where do
no
the two
warps,
old guys
no
sit? Where do the 2 old guys sit on the bridge? Are they over to the side or what in the Muppet episode?
They're sitting in the back with their heroic back there at the comm station.
They do need Waldorf and Statler.
I just figured it out. Sam the Eagle is playing Spock.
Oh, yeah.
You are all weirdos. Isn't that what he says in the Muppet movie?
Weirdos, you should have seen what was on Planet Weirdo 6. Oh, yeah, something like that. The well, what genres have we done so far? It's hard to recap them all because they're so incredibly stupid.
Okay,
so we've done them all badly, and we've blended them with other genres. So that's a really hard question.
We did Aliens. We did The Wedding Crashers.
So Aliens is horror.
We did
comedy.
Then we did The Walking Dead, or the Warping
We did horror
Dead.
again.
We did horror again. Then the
Freaky Friday,
Murder Mystery.
We've done Freaky Friday last. Did we do Freaky Friday again? Do they do that every season now? I thought Freaky Friday was season 1.
Well, in any event, they've done it before. But we had Murder Mystery,
Mockumentary, Spockumentary. I don't know what to call it.
Action Adventure. We did that.
And thank you for the likes, sirs and madams. If anyone's still here, hit us up. Please do me a favor and hit us up with some more likes to polarize the hall. I ask for nothing more than your love and obedience. And, join us. You'll be well treated. You can move up very quickly in this fleet. Go ahead.
So let's see. Did we do a Western?
Well, last week was kind of like Moby Dick.
But that was also their attempt at sci-fi.
We did Monster. Yeah, but you know what? That one's called Monster of the Week. They did a Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
They did their X-Files style Monster of the Week. And they kind of tried to apply that to this week too. Although this week was Mockumentary, where the Monster of the Week was like the F plot. We had so much going on in this boring, and this interminably boring and horrible episode of New Trek that we just watched was the shortest episode they've made in a long time. It was 39 painful minutes, and it was bloated at that. It was the opposite of the video I made. In 9 minutes, I told a coherent story and gave you a decent speculation on an ideal version of Trek United, which, by the way, is very attainable. And although Germ doesn't like it, I would just, to keep things on the positive here, we're talking about so many terrible things. What do you guys think about the possibility of this Trek United thing happening? The continued talks just mean that Paramount called them back and said, we don't hate this idea. We do think that there's a role for Archer in the future. I think William Shatner probably... You know what? If I bought Paramount, I would buy Paramount just so I could call William Shatner. I mean, if the people who bought Paramount didn't call William Shatner, they're spiting themselves. Anybody? I mean, This is why he become. I mean, I would just point out a lot of people criticize Bill Belichick, but he's shown why men go out and achieve the Super Bowl trophy
Perhaps.
and make all the money. I'd hope so. I
Admiral,
hope so.
We've got an issue here. We've only got 3 episodes left, and we have to cover Western, musical. We have sports.
I don't consider them committed
Angels
to
in the Outfield or
Western.
Mighty Ducks. We have to have a sports one, and then we also
Here's the thing,
have.
I don't consider them committed to the Western because the Western episode they did last season was to buy time. Nothing happens in it. In the episode, Pike wakes up, finds out there's a threat, a danger. We find out Pike's done shit for 3 years, and to get over doing shit for he's got a transporter. He can go anywhere. He's done shit for 3 years, and for the entire episode 1, what does he do but ride his horse? And in the last minute, he's back on the bridge. He's like, "Let's do this."
Hey, I have a question. If it's Federation United, who do they go up against with the Klingons? Is it
Arsenal?
Klingon? It's Arsenal. Klingon Arsenal.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and then
I love how I just picked
and
up on
then
that.
was
I feel
like
so sophisticated.
I was going to say, then what's the Romulans then?
FC Romulus.
FC Rom. Okay, all right, interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Then we have for the Gorn, we have Real.
I'm going to be
Gorn.
controversial and
right.
say that the Romulans would be Emirates.
Very controversial. I have a better one. I know.
right.
Oh, I have an even better one here. They are going to do an Antiques Roadshow.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Antiques Roadshow.
Very
episode.
Yeah, and a Commodore 3-pack's going to be the
Appraiser.
What do they call it? Yeah, the appraiser. Yeah, thank you.
You know what, Sean?
They're not going to do. They're not going to do pawn
They
shop.
kind of already did that when they're throwing around all that junk in Grandmama's quarters when she's digging up those phones.
That was
You mean
crazy.
the,
It was just
the
like
personal
everything from the
vibrator?
prop room at
Or the personal
Paramount.
massager.
Massager.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh,
Star Trek
the-
Bake Off.
that's and I say this. I prove this
Oh,
in my video when I
yeah.
show it.
We haven't.
I got to
seen
show
Iron-
it to people.
It's a
this
cooking
is
show
very.
episode.
I'm going to do something very controversial. You're not really supposed to do this when you're a YouTuber, but I cut into my videos some of the Star Trek dancing, and it's edited enough that I don't think it'll get a copyright, any kind of match. But I think the Star Trek dancing, singing and dancing kind of has to be seen to be believed. It is almost, it's beyond the point of being ridiculous, the Star Trek singing and dancing. And when the bias that people would have after seeing it, the desire that they would have to have anyone else, the fact that Kurtzman wants to promote Star Trek this way, I honestly think there was a confirmation bias due to his incompetence that's feeding this as well. The rejection by Kurtzman, I feel, is a big factor in why people like talking about this idea. The fact that Kurtzman passed on it, and there's a chance now to hoist him on his own freaking petard of incompetence with the original continuity. So, sirs and madams, very controversial.
Admiral.
I'm going to let you see a little video. Yes,
Admiral,
sir.
We're going to have an episode called Breaking 3-Pack, and Nadia R37 is going to be their Jesse Pinkman. And,
Oh,
and
God, I
she's
can't
gonna
wait
have
for
the
that.
line, "I am the one who knocks."
Ooh, I am the one who beams in. I am the one who says energize.
and it's her making
Actually, she
blue
with her
dilithium.
Yoda talking.
Yeah.
With her Yoda talking, JT, just don't finish your rant. But with her Yoda talking, wouldn't it be Nox the one? Am I?
Wait, no, green dilithium.
Green
in,
dilithium.
in rod form.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, could you imagine if they try to make a Landman episode with this crew?
Pure anti-proton.
Could you see them try to do Landman with this crew and these writers? It's just they don't have a Landman.
They wouldn't be able to handle that character. They would hate him so much.
Who would you even put in there?
He would be
for that.
in 5 minutes into episode 1. He would be shot dead by the wife character, and the daughter and her would drive across country.
So Christine would be the Landman, right? Or would that be Lon? I just don't think you could do it. They don't have a man in this whole cast that could actually carry that. That's how pathetic it is.
There's a couple of kind of female characters in Landman, but a couple of them are really sexual. And there's nothing like that in this show.
Maybe they could get they could do like yellow is the new black.
Yeah. They are kind of off the same tree.
Is that a statement on like Hoshi and Nuhura?
No, it's the HBO show.
No, that's like Orange is the New Black, but yeah.
I haven't heard
have
of
them
this
all
show.
go to Ruapente and do a Yellow is the New Black. Yeah.
Or they could do The Wire with Mabanga.
Oh. They could.
Let me focus this for a minute. Sean, before I show while I show the singing, dancing Star Trek, guys, you got it's unbelievable. Sean, if you could have the ideal Enterprise sequel show, what do you see it as?
A sequel to it?
What's being proposed? How would you have? Look at this, guys.
Yeah.
You can't make this up.
Shoot. Well, first of all, I don't like the idea that they're saying that Archer, he would be President Archer, because Archer was not. He didn't aspire to that kind of thing. He would have detested being a politician. It is not in his character. I mean, the only way they could do it is like somehow make him like a reluctant president where he has to.
But that is what he is at the end of the that weird Jonathan Frakes
he just
episode.
makes
Look
a
at his
speech.
people.
Well,
He just makes a
he
speech.
understands his role in
that's right.
giving the speech, but he's never been the kind of, I don't seek the glory. I don't want that, you know, he likes being the captain, but to be president, no, he never had that in him. It just doesn't fit.
Can you guys believe that, by the way, what I just showed you? Anybody here shocked? If you want, please. The video's pinned to the top of the chat. Give it a like now. Cue it up to watch when we're done. We don't have a lot more time left to go. The video's comprehensive. I give you everything. We've been on this story, and we've been watching the source of this story for when did we first pick up on the Tachyon Pulse? Like 6 months ago?
Yeah.
You were the first. Yeah. But the
And
bottom
we were
line
always incredulous, but it took maybe about a month for us to start totally disregarding them. So to hear Clownfish TV and Midnight's Edge source to Tachyon Pulse, who
that's just
never
because
says
they need something to talk about. They're coming off of Fantastic Four and Superman, and there's no Star Wars left. There's no other
the
Marvel
conversation about Fantastic Four is just how bad it is and how much it flopped. There's no more to be said.
Right. So they need something. Well, yeah, you pick up a rumor here and there, spin it as, oh, it's just rumor, but let me lead another video on for another 15 minutes, making you think it's actually going to happen. Admiral, I think you're right. I don't think any of this is going to happen. I think this was just done by people who would like to control Star Trek after Kurtzman's done. And they're saying, well, we're going to take it more conservatively and go back to real Star Trek and see what the fan reaction to it is, and try to get some financial backing from people that might be wary of going in a different direction after how bad a decade of mismanagement has been of this property.
I'm interested if I could get either Germ or Sean to sign off on my elevator pitch for this Trek United series, based on the idea that Star Trek's been in so much trouble for so long that if we did a slower show that was not as intense, that was designed for original fans, that as long as it was good, if we just start this series of movies by setting the scene as we have a reluctant President Archer, and maybe we have an action component with heroic, Captain Trip out there on the edge of the neutral zone. And I would think that, we're about to go to war with, or we are currently at war with the Romulans would have to be the topic. What if I told you that after, after 90 minutes, you would get a good performance, you'd see some people you liked, they would be doing a good job in service of the further continuity of the Enterprise story. It would be like a novel. It would be just as good. It just wouldn't have much action in it, and it would be 90 minutes. And at the end, you'd be like, "That was nice."
I don't know, but here's the thing, though. Like,
you'd say no to it, though.
Yeah, and here's why.
I'd
Because
have to say no too.
Yeah, and I don't know, was it Germ that said earlier, like, we have to go to the end of the Voyager. So I mean, if you're going to show something after Enterprise, I think it would need to be in that premise I presented, where they do a mini series for each era. Like, let's see a mini series after the NX-01 comes out. Then
I want to go
something in
after
TOS era.
after Nemesis, so that we can specifically rule out the Romulan supernova and decanonize that whole.
but
it's
that's
only
where I
in
was
comic
getting.
books anyway.
But
Well,
you
that's
get to
that's
that
where I
at
was
the
getting.
end of the anthology series.
Well,
Yeah,
if we're gonna do that, gentlemen, may I suggest my original elevator pitch that I gave to Teague? Star Trek 1883, which follows the USS Yellowstone. I'm
Well,
just
yeah,
telling you that's why the
where I was
Borg
going
attacked
with it.
Bozeman, Montana. There you go,
Well,
Sean.
yeah. So what they need, we need to get back into after Nemesis or after Voyager, but they keep doing these prequels and that we if they're gonna go back or show something that happens after Enterprise, it has to be something in each area. I want a mini series after Enterprise, a mini series during TOS. Then at between, then Enterprise B, the Enterprise C, those eras, not necessarily the ships. But then
It's so
eventually
weird.
Just let's get to after Voyager and show us some gaps and things that happen in the middle, instead of committing to some multi-season series. Have every season be something new. And
How about if we recast the role and we do the? How about if we recast some roles? How about if we recast some roles and we do the court martial of Captain Janeway for that incompetent trip through the Delta Quadrant?
Yeah.
Oh, I would pay money for that.
It's funny. I'm watching Voyager again right now, and I'm in the middle of season 2. The first 2 seasons were pretty good science fiction. They're really not that bad.
If your standard is that you want a lot of sci-fi in your story, then you're right.
Yeah.
It's just like we have to put up with it, like deeply illogical shit like, I'm unable to conceive of the concept of a time bomb, putting our Star Trek tech level below yours and our intelligence below that of a 19th century man. Let's fuck this up the best way we can, Chakotay. And it's like, you don't have to, it's like, you watch their entire premiere episode like, don't do this. You don't have to, you fucking idiots. So, I mean, that's their beginning. And then
the problem comes at
time
the end where the story is basically Star Trek 7 of 9.
And I don't want that. I don't. I'm done
maybe
with
in the next
that.
timeline, Star Trek will actually be
Germ,
cool. So it's
I don't know.
cool.
What do you think if we could just move past Jerry Ryan, that we could get onto like some better Trek and move past Robert Picardo, move past the TNG cast?
Yeah.
If we could get something nice.
Everything.
We need a new ship. It
where we
doesn't
see
have to
what's
be
going
called
on.
Enterprise.
Well, they could do a
It is-
series where we see what was going on while Voyager was in the Delta Quadrant. That's
Oh,
7
sure.
years. You got a full
It's
series.
called
right there.
DS9. It only ended like a year and a half after.
Yeah,
Was
well,
it?
they were on at the same time, and you remember that Voyager episode with the Prometheus, where they were like, "What the heck is this thing
With
called?
Andy
The Dominion?" Yeah,
That one with Andy Dick?
yeah.
You
He
know
was
what?
actually
He
pretty
wasn't
entertaining.
that. I was going to
He
say
was
he wasn't
good.
that
It was-
far gone on drugs or whatever at that point.
Yeah, that was a
he was
decent
fine
fun
in that
episode.
one.
That was a
You
fun
know who
one.
else was I thought was okay and fine was I was surprised when I saw and this is a really really weird one, but it's kind of deeply sci-fi, but they're doing it's almost like The Omen 2 bad, but basically we run into Michael McKean from the X-Files and SNL and Laverne and Shirley, and he's like this fucked up evil mean harlequin who lives inside of either some sort of weird dimension or inside of some sort of weird computer program where he's got like all these people trapped, and like he's like Trelane, but he only has like, you know, total control in this one area, and he wears this weird clown makeup, and like he torments everybody, and he's a dick to everybody, and the captain like has to fool him into like locking himself into his own like evil like bad place alone. Like his thing was like he wanted to do the old Event Horizon thing where he wanted to drag someone into this like dimension with him to torment for all eternity, and she somehow fools him into getting stuck in this phantom zone alone. So here and there you got some rare wins in Voyager, but on the whole, I think
in the first season, first 2 seasons.
Is it still that's that early? There's some wins in Voyager.
That is very early.
That one is deeply weird.
Admiral, you were still kind of in this mode of maybe a prequel could work on this type of stuff, especially with this announcement. We almost had a spin-off show in the original series with Gary Seven, right? That was
Well, it would have been a backdoor pilot. I think what happened was Kirk, Gene Roddenberry didn't even come to work a lot at Star Trek the last year. He was trying to develop a new show, and I think it was the Gary Seven show.
Right. So could they take that and do a prequel with that, and you take like an Alurian or some other species that lives a very long time, but they chose to live on Earth, and maybe they brought like a tricorder with them or some other basic tools from the 24th century, but they brought them back, and this person's just like brilliant, and they're like a doctor, if you will, and they live in their apartment, but the outside of the apartment building is one size, but when you go into the apartment itself, it's actually much larger on the inside than the outside, if you will. And maybe this being is so old that they don't actually pass away, they just kind of regenerate a little bit, if you will. That sounds like a great idea for a show, I think. We can call it
Immortal could be a show
we
too.
can call it like Doctor what, or Doctor Them or something. It would
Yeah,
be,
there you go. Doctor
there
They
you
Them.
go. Yeah.
He could travel around in a public bathroom. All right, listen, let's cut to the chase. We all have mixed opinions. Most people say no. If I said that this would be the first in a series of like contained Star Trek movies to move on from this continuity, while we don't want to give up on Star Trek completely. Like if they make this like we're not going to watch it. If they make it and they can, let's say they make it. Let's say we watch it. And when it's over, it wasn't action-packed, but it was good. And it wasn't stupid. And we had fun. And maybe it had, like, I don't know, one subplot with some secret agents who, like, blow away some Romulans. You know what I mean? And we don't even close the door on the proceedings. Like, we're just like, we still have to get the Romulans to the negotiating table, Hoshi. And then that's it. Goodbye. We might come back, we might not. I think maybe our Star Trek movie of the year is the way to look at it right now. That is an excellent idea. What if I told you, rather than a new series, while we wait for this to cool off and like figure it out, we're going to bring back like vintage casts for movie of the year. Enterprise cast is still in the best shape and is still like what is Linda Park? Like 42, 44? What is Julian Blaylock, 45, 46? I mean, the real thing is how old is Rivers Rufino? Because if her kid is like 18, she might be willing
Dr.
to come.
Phlox might be the oldest cast member. That and Bakula.
I can live without the second most unprincipled doctor in all of Star Trek.
Yeah,
I'm
oh gosh,
sorry.
this last Saturday, that whole crap that they brought into with similitude. My gosh, they just ruined that doctor completely with all of that.
Well,
the ethical and moral issues.
Linda Park is 47 right now, so she could hypothetically look good for another 8 to 13 years. Honestly, well, let's not go crazy here, but she's going to look fine for like a while longer, enough to do another whole series of Enterprise and then some. And if we make it her job to be good looking, well, then all she's going. She looked great when we showed her. I mean, this is Linda now.
Yeah, but you're going to get her.
You can get her.
Dominic and Connor, probably. Those are the only 3 you're getting.
You don't need anyone else. You know what? You
I
reconfigure
don't
the
think
show
it's
around
gonna
that
work.
being your holy trinity.
These movies are going to take way too long to make. You're going to get one movie, and it'll be in service of nothing. It'll die the reboot Marvel path, where they have to reboot every single series, every other movie, because it takes them too long to get these movies out in the theater. And you,
I think we could do
anymore.
I think this is a streaming movie. I want to be clear on that. I
don't
think this
think-
is a streaming movie. Let's see if we
I
can
don't
see that fucking Doctor Who Easter egg. I call bullshit on that. I think that. Oh, is that it? Right across from my
you have to
icon.
zoom in. It's just
Oh
to
wait,
the right
I do
of,
see it.
I thought it
it's
was on
to
the
the right of the bridge.
Yeah, and to the left of my icon, right?
Just to the left of it, yes. I think your icon's on the way.
Is it? It's so murky. We left this up on screen for an entire show and we couldn't see the TARDIS. I
It's not
feel
the
like
TARDIS.
I don't think it's in this shot in any shots that were in the show. I think they want you to watch the whole episode again, thinking you saw it. I think it was in one production still. Anyone think that they're above that? Say so. I think that they would lie that bad to us to get us to watch again. So say we all.
So
Yes.
it's supposed to be behind something that is vertical with a green stripe on it. So from this view, you cannot see it yet.
I guess so. We also noticed that like Jess Bush just has stray tattoos doodled all over her like Melanie Mack. If you look at Jess Bush for a while, you'll notice a tattoo here and a tattoo there. She can't move her arms around without the tattoos on her arms showing. Her every costume is long sleeve with a high collar for a reason. I think she's got them on her neck. She is just covered with tattoos. She is a face model and a face model only, and she is not taking her. She is taking her looks for granted with the tattoos. And just, if I realize this is only 3 seasons, but 5 years of looking that terrible in that outfit, maybe I'd jog. Anybody? So say we all.
So
Hey,
say
Teague,
we
I
all.
post-
I've got no room to say anything.
Sean,
about
your
it.
job calls you up tomorrow and tells you got to wear that. You're going to get a raise or whatever, but you got to wear it. Maybe you start jogging.
Yeah.
Well, but how you jog, then you're going to have looser skin, and your tattoos are going to look like shit, right?
She's not to that point yet, and she's still young, but I hear where you're coming from. Look, Jess Bush is just, for 5 years, she has had no problem appearing this way. Either she doesn't watch the show, or she's okay with this, or it's a big look for lesbians to be pear-shaped. I realize that this is not something that's popular to say, and it sounds mean, but we have a beautiful woman who's like a certain kind of model. She's a face model. Until now, Star Trek has gone with fitness models. And you know what? When we have gone with women who are face models, it's been because they could act. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of a Star Trek face model who then didn't have a face to act with anymore, really. That was a face that was sought after. Because of the way she looked older, and she could still act. What about, Dr. Pulaski when she's in the original series?
Mm-hmm.
She's beautiful. She is a face model. Do they make her wear a Vina outfit? You know what I mean? They're aware that she's a face model. And if you watch the episode with her Star Trek skirt is a little more like a baby doll dress. It's not fitted the same way everyone else is. They gave her a custom tailored fit to make her look her best, to not distract from how pretty she was. They gave her, and she was a 1-episode star in that role. They brought her back for something else because I liked her so much, and that was another crazy outfit that wasn't very figure related either. They concentrated on the fact that she was a face model. They're using a face model in a body model's role to lure us in. This is what they want. And you know what? Damn it. I'll give it to them. I'll say it. They did this to Jess Bush, and I'm just putting it into words. I get ripped on Reddit, where a lot of you have come to me from, and I thank all of you who've come to me from Reddit, and I thank all the people who watch the videos on Reddit. I do. But you know what? We have had this problem with unattractive cast members being used as an excuse, and you know, whatever community you're from too, you know, we're always talking about what hole you stick it in, and you know what, like Kurtzman, you simplistic bastard, I read your index card. Your life is a post-it note worth of interesting things. They're in every episode. I'm so tired of the nightclub oriented, stupid, self-contradicting dialogue. Absolutely insufferable Star Trek. But when you people on Reddit come after me and call me a crazy madman and do all that other stuff, I put up with it, and I do love when you come here and join the channel and mix it up with me. Leave me your comments. You know, I'm always at your service. These videos are made because I want to make a point, and you know, you're free to feel however you want about them. I'll take all the ridicule about my voice. I'll take all the ridicule that I'm some sort of guys. Did you know that I'm a total right-wing MAGA madman? According to the people on Reddit, just absolute, just crazy stuff. Ask Grok about Admiralty. Just crazy stuff, and it's just absolutely unbelievable what you have to go through. But I have consistently gotten more impressions than YouTube has gotten me, and I feel that this community deserves that. You guys have been so good to me, and oh my gosh, as I said, Crimlon has made 5 of you members of this community, and we've got Obi-2, Wrath of Kenobi has received a gift. The Phantom Boomer Explores, Rainbow Void, Buddy Hepburn, and Gavin Blackburn received a gift from Crimlon. Crimlon, thank you so much. You deserve something. What do you want? You know what? I know what you deserve. Some video. Every time I come to StreamYards, they've changed it. I have a piece of video for Crimlon. But while we go there, George, tell us a little bit about the Carthaginians.
Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions. Arab women stripped them of their tunics and their swords and lances.
Thank you, George. All right, Crimlon, this one is for you. You know, let's put the Kurtzman icon up for a little while. There he is, looking down over us. I've dishonored Kurtzman for you, and here's your video.
Insufficient sensor data. Incorrect.
10 fucking grueling hours.
That piece of video made it into the video that I made. Guys, please help me polarize the whole. Hit the video up at the top of the stream, and give it a like and cue it up to watch later. You know, believe me, you'll enjoy it. You know, it's made from some good stuff.
Pure anti-proton. Absolutely pure.
The best for you, my friends. But with that, I think we've finished all our thoughts, except that we have Chosen Realm and Proving Ground coming up to you on the next exciting episode of Star Trek Enterprise, or actually the new name is Saving Star Trek Enterprise. Watch Party is now a thing of the past. We are bringing you the most comprehensive and amazing Star Trek coverage you can get. And I don't know how many more uploads there'll be, because we have purified the show into its upload form. And Crimlon, thank you again, my friend. Thank you. You know what? I'm going to elevate you up the totem pole. But I think that has been an amazing experience to be with you guys this week, and I do appreciate that we have good Star Trek news. If that Star Trek show with Bakula happens and it's an okay Westling-like show, no one's going to be angry. No one's going to walk away saying that they've ruined it. We'll all watch it. We'll review it fairly, and people still think it's unnecessary, they'll say it. But I'm going to say right now, Paramount fueling the fire of this conversation, even if it goes nowhere, and even if you want it to go nowhere, this conversation has been absolutely fantastic. They have re-energized the fandom at a time that it's usually at its lowest. Kurtzman has been punching us. He has held us by the belt, and he hasn't punched us in the nose. He's turned us around in a different direction. He's held us by the belt, though. He's going to someplace far more uncomfortable with his agenda. But you know what? Kurtzman's got us by the belt, and he's punching us in the nose over and over and over. You know what? We got a conversation changed up. I want everyone's opinion here. If New Paramount put this out, the Ellisons have proven to me, in my opinion, that they are smart people who seem to be doubling down on the idea that Kurtzman will be gone, and they're fueling the fire of non-Kurtzman original continuity Star Trek talk because that's what people want. It caught on right away off of a script treatment and a Comic-Con appearance that was sabotaged by that modern dance stuff I showed you. So I'll start with Germ. Go ahead. I didn't mean to remove you. I meant to embiggen you.
I don't feel this is going anywhere. I don't think it should.
But for Paramount,
I don't think Paramount's behind any of the pushing. This is the YouTube.
There's nothing else going out.
Yeah.
Would Paramount be wise to back this conversation and extend it?
They should just do what they're doing. Just sit back, let everything just fall where they may.
It's not costing them nothing in your scenario.
Yeah. Once Kurtzman is gone, they can make a decision then. But right now, just let the YouTube sphere push this.
You know what? Fair enough. Radioactive. If this thing airs and you've gotten an almost action-free but decent update on our beloved characters, our heroes from Enterprise, as we see like enough of them, and it's in service of continuing the Enterprise story. Maybe it's based off one of the novels. It's not action-packed, but it's quality. It's 90 minutes, and when it's over, it's over. It's just a streaming movie. Would you feel that we'd be advanced by it or put back by it, or would you welcome it? What do you think?
I tend to think it'd be at best neutral. I don't know that it would almost be what's the right term? A prologue is the way I look at it.
Okay. Second part of the question: as a business move to change the conversation, what do you think? And if you had a butt about the story, go ahead. If you wanted to finish your point, I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean as far as that being a smart business move for Paramount?
What do you think about this says about the new ownership, that they're letting this happen and maybe fueling it?
Well, I would say that I think we need to keep things in context with Skydance and their record with other shows. Weren't they behind the Star Trek movies?
They funded the first 2 or 3. They funded the Kelvin movies, but the thing is, I would have funded the second one, and I wouldn't have funded the third one, and they didn't fund the fourth one, obviously. The third one might not have been funded by them either. Honestly, I think they just had that production credit.
Also behind Woke Foundation, if I'm not mistaken.
The thing is, the Ellisons themselves are not known for that, and they're thought of. I think they're friendly with 47, like they're friends with him.
Well, they may be, but they've allowed a lot of other people to guide the actual media being produced.
And it is their son chiefly behind the studio. They're more behind the Oracle.
Father had the co-sign for the final deal, but you're right. He's a silent partner.
Okay, yeah.
Skydance did co-fund Into Darkness.
Did they? Yes.
I think
they were out after that. Yeah, they were out after that. I think that they could read the writing on the wall. So I don't think that there's a lot of danger of them thinking that Trek 09 and Kelvin Trek were the good old days either. They know
So let's look at
they're on to JJ.
Let's limit ourselves to the sci-fi stuff. So they have their hands in Woke Foundation. They had their hands in Altered Carbon Season 2, which didn't get well received, wasn't well received. Let's see what they have for film. If I can find it. Well, they did The Gorge. So far, I'm still watching The Gorge, so I can't tell you if that's super good or not. And of course, they had the MI films. They did Life.
Is the Gorge like a old country buffet?
Here's the thing: if the
series,
it could,
yeah, it's the Cracker Barrel, and now we're really controversial. But you know what? I would say that the conversation changing is probably for the best. Sean, I'll let you go on your rant now. What do you think of? You already said that you just don't want the movie. Say we get it anyway. Would you be resentful of that? And what do you think? What do you think of the idea of Paramount either fueling this, being behind it, or allowing it to go on? I tend to think that they're fueling it a little bit at this point. What do you think that speaks of the new management? This is their first Star Trek move. What do you think?
Well, here's what I'll think, and then I'm gonna log out after this because I don't.
That's why I wanted you to talk now.
I
just saw it.
Done.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. Here's what I.
Rudy
think
the Space Hound has been taking a toll on our executive officer.
No, here's what I think it is. I think this is an entirely a trial balloon, and I don't know if it was necessarily orchestrated by Paramount or anybody. I think what they probably did was just tell them, hey, go out and just pitch any ideas you guys have had and just let the fans know what you would have liked to do, and let's see what the fans' reaction is. I think this is more of a not so detailed trial balloon of like, let's just start the conversation of what people would like and see what kind of buzz they can generate, what people might come up with. And I really think that's probably what it was, because it's like you said in your video, it's an elevator pitch, it's a treatment, and nothing in Hollywood. We've seen how many projects has Star Wars quote unquote announced that are coming,
right?
And nothing is solid until it's funded. So I think, hey, we don't know where we're going. Let Bakula get out there and say what his ideas were and see what people think. And if there's an incredible amount of buzz on it, they're going to do it. And here's an example of this is when season 2 of Discovery came and they showed Pike and the Enterprise. The entire fandom was saying, give us a Pike show. And they ended up doing it poorly, but they did it. So, yeah, that's my thought. I think it's just an unrestricted trial balloon. Just get out there and talk about it, what you guys would like to see. So there's my take.
There's Sean's take. And now you have to go walk Rudy the Space Hound before you get some well-earned sleep. You're up to 7 a.m. with Stark of Iron?
No, midnight.
Oh, you got out of there in time?
Yeah,
I never know. You could time dilation can happen on Stark of Iron. I was watching him for a while, and I fell asleep with it on. So more power to Tony on that one.
Yeah.
I gave him the view, but I was thinking is there a link out there for me? Maybe I'll jump on and say hi. And then it's I was watching everybody, and it's I have some British DNA too. Gavin, tell me you don't understand me on this one, Gavin. I was like, all seems a bit too exciting for me right now. I believe what I need to do is get away from all this excitement and lay down in bed until I adjust to the fact that there are too many non-boring things happening. This is messing up my perception. I need boringness back. So I did listen to Tony, and it wasn't boring. I tried to make it boring, but it wasn't boring. It was a little intense, but
I had a good time. I hadn't sang in a long time, but no, it was 12:30 or
I
something.
enjoyed that.
Left out, but no, I do got to go.
It was 12:10 when I fell asleep. Yeah, I went face down the keyboard last night.
But yeah, I've been waking up at 6 a.m. to take the dog for a walk, and
this dog needs a lot of walking.
Oh no, I'm talking about Dexter, my older one, because he's kind of getting the short end of the stick now that the baby's here. So I'm trying to give him some extra attention and give him his walks and make sure he knows he's still special. But yeah,
cool.
Rudy has.
You can't
his
walk
first
them
vet-
together. I guess
No,
one is
Rudy's-
young and
Rudy's only 9
Got to get a
weeks.
little older and a little
Yeah,
He's
I
not
don't
even
want to
being
take him
walked
out
yet. He's
until he
running
gets
around.
well, at least until he gets his shots and stuff. You don't want to really expose him to too much. But
Wait,
he
if the
gets his
dog is
first
shot, I think
vet-
that's a crime.
True.
Shot.
Yeah, he has his first vet appointment in the morning.
Michael
I'm gonna
Vick got in
take him
trouble
there, too, so. Anyway, you guys, it's been a pleasure. And,
We love you.
good
Thank you
show.
so much. And thank you for your insights on this one. And we'll see you on Saturday for Duty with Enterprise. Does anyone, before we go, it's Chosen Realm and Proving Ground is the one we want. Who wants to be the experts on these?
Just
Anyone
assign me one.
volunteer?
I'll do it.
Do you want to do Chosen Realm?
Sure.
Slideshow of 4 to 12 slides should do it.
Okay.
There you go. How's that for? If you want to do more, go ahead. Do your own discretion. Putting them all back to back on video seemed to be easier, but whatever you want. Oh yeah. Otherwise, we're shuffling slides endlessly. Even a Crim one had a pretty good one.
Yep. Anyway, all right, everybody. Good night to
Bye,
the chat.
Sean.
Good night,
See you,
chat. Good night,
Sean.
panel.
Later, Sean.
See you guys. Bye bye.
I can't wait until I can just take the new Trek, download it all onto one USB stick, throw it on the floor, and just.
Well,
Quark,
not
I
much
told
time
you
to
to.
wait.
Quark, I told you to stop downloading the Cardassian prawn programs. All right. So let's see what everybody's up to, and we'll get out of here. Oh, I know for me, I'm back on Saturday at 11, where we'll do yet another Amazing Enterprise watch party. And oh, wait, before we leave, it would be very controversial if we didn't look at our poll. Shall we, if we would, look at our poll? Guys, you are the best. Let me see if I can find this one. I have to stop all those screens first. This
and
is
hey
so
to Kimberly.
good.
And
Hello,
Hart.
Kimberly. Welcome. It's good to see you. How are you doing tonight? All right. So let me add this to the stage. I got to take Archer off stage. Archer. All right. So, I need like a timpani drum, but I'll worry about that later. So, which nickname do you prefer for Ortega's brother in Strange New Worlds? Sir, you will stand here. First, you'll hear the drums, then you will hear the horns. Which nickname do you prefer? Beto O'Corked, 14%. Beto.
Which one did I say? I can't remember.
I think it was Beto Uncorked, which is still fine.
Oh.
We don't have to be religious about this one. I'm agnostic on this one. Beto Wetter, 29%, and the winner with 36%, Beto O'Cork. I'll try to call him Beto O'Cork. Guys, thank you. Saving Star Trek is brought to you by the genius of Gene Roddenberry and by the generosity of fans like Crimwan and Ruby Hoove. I thank you so much for your financial donations to underwriting this stream. You guys are extremely generous, and I love you all. So I guess what I need to do is close that poll. So, I can't be giving people too much choice, right? That would be bad. We can't be going around allowing people to just cast ballots willy-nilly. I'm thinking about ending mail-in for the for the channel polls. I've 14 votes, and Beto O'Corked, the motion is carried. So say we all.
Say we all.
Guys, there is a new video out there. It is a fantastic video by an exciting new video, an exciting video essayist named Admiral Teague. He's pretty good. It's doing really good. It currently has, believe it or not, 160 views since it debuted at 3 o'clock this afternoon, making it, I believe, the #1 video. And thank you, JT Kirk. There's the link right there. Germ, what are you doing this week?
Well, next we'll be back on Saturday before Saving Star Trek for the pre-show, where we'll have the watch party for Chosen Realm and what was the second one?
Proving Ground. I'll do. Who wants to be the expert on Proving Ground? I'll make the video essay for Proving Ground. I'm second expert on both. We all watch both.
I guess I can do it.
Are you okay? Thank you. I will make the Proving Ground essay. Proving Ground's sort of integral to the Xindi arc. All right, Germ. So again, but do we have a kaiju movie coming up?
Yeah, this Monday it'll be Godzilla versus Megalon.
What time What time West Coast? And I'll give the East Coast time.
West Coast will be 5 p.m.
That's 3 in the morning on the East Coast. That's 8 p.m. at my time. So come in for the kaiju show. It's usually about 100 minutes because it's like the movie's always 90. It's always 90. We've moved beyond cool leather jackets. Now the Japanese people all want to play guitar and sing while Godzilla kills them. I don't know why. Okay, and JT, what are you up to? Dadman stuff? Anything?
Let's see. Well, this Friday I'll be on Mark D with the C's Late Night Fortnite, usually 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Then Saturday I'll be right back here for some Saving Star Trek Enterprise, and that's at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll see. Tuesday, I will be hanging out with Dadman at 9 p.m. Eastern, talking sports ball. And this coming week, we are doing the SEC preview.
Oh, excellent. Make sure that you have pictures of all of the marching band's uniforms, because that's how you pick your winner. The marching band with the cape wins every time. All right. So Radioactive and Crimlon, I guess you guys will be back here. You want to do any crazy shout outs before we go? Nothing will get me kicked off the air.
Oh, I don't know. Should we shout out something? Crimlon? Crimlon!
What's the game of the week, Crimlon? Crimlon, what's any gaming tips or anything you want to tell people?
Hello, Cleveland. I mean, what?
Gaming tips.
Is this thing on? Hello.
Oh, there is a new development with Crimlon. He finally got a fleet carrier. That's a good thing.
Congratulations.
Elite Dangerous. Finally. Years in the making. He finally gets it.
You know what? Field Marshal, he's not Field Marshal Veers because they cut the scene, but he's in the at that gets hit. That guy has a whole Bond movie as a villain, RRTNZ. It's good to see you here. I hope you saw the video. It looks like everybody's watching it. I'm so pleased with its progress. And let's face it, we happen to be experts on the kind of Star... They spun the wheel of Star Trek and Enterprise came up. And then I made the video and woke up today to see Voyager trending. So I was like, you win some, you lose some. But this Enterprise topic will still be hot. Voyager, apparently a game. Anyone know anything about that one?
I've seen a little bit on it, not much. It's kind of like there's a new BSG game coming out, but the BSG game to me looks like it just at face value looks a little bit like a weak version of Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, which was actually really good. Is good.
The Admiral, the Voyager game that was announced with some little bit of news behind it is supposed to be in a format where it's roguelike. So that means it's pseudo randomly generated content.
Oh, cool.
So that way every star system is supposed to be a new quote unquote adventure every time you go. Now, how varied or different that will be, time will tell. But I can tell you there's probably...
They can keep uploading more, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in
great.
theory, it's the genius way to go. I think you'll end up seeing more variation than the TV show, probably pretty quickly. As long as you don't fly your ship in circles, you should avoid the Kazon pretty well. So, but
those
I'm keeping an eye on
pesky
it.
Kazon.
I'll be keeping an eye on it for sure.
Oh, there is a new crossover between Halo and Helldivers 2 next week.
Oh,
yes.
Yep.
And Kimberly, after you see Fantastic Four, do me a favor. Don't watch it now. I like views, but don't watch it now. I made a review video of Fantastic Four after you see the movie because I spoil everything. There's a non-spoiler part, and I clearly say when I go into spoilers in that one. But after you do it, take a look and tell me if you agree with my review afterwards. It's not important that people agree with my reviews so much as you're grounded in where I'm coming from when you hear them. So you're like, Teague didn't like this, but I might. Or I know that Teague is right on this one, and I'm not going to see it because he's correct. And you know what? Once again, I want to thank everyone from Reddit who rescued the video and the people from the channel who rescued the video and made it #1. Because the impressions through click-through rate is a rather paltry 3.2%, which I've seen Shad Brooks get mightily angry about a few times. But we love you all, and you know what? Just watch that Trek video for me, please. Just jump in there and support my video, and help this channel's voice go out there a little stronger. It at least furthers the cause of Enterprise. I stand in favor of this continued talk of the show. I wouldn't mind the show in a West Wing form if it was just a movie and not a streaming series. And I think it could be easily a great conversation changer and palate cleanser from the low quality, outright garbage that we have been stuck with for so long. And with that, I say it's time for Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, I think that you guys have earned it. And you know what? In the words of my hero, Ozzy Osbourne, I love you all. Shut up! Okay, Sydney Sweeney it is. I'm returning briefly to say, go on Reddit. Everyone who's asking, go on Reddit, post my article everywhere. Some of these Star Trek sites won't let me on anymore for doing it because I don't toe the new Trek line. I only promote the old Star Trek. I only really endorse it. So yeah, if you Reddit at all, my Reddit handle is Rando Gringo. You can find me, and I did post it on any Star Trek Reddit you can, but the one that I go to the most is Enterprise. I love you all, and good night.